Shaking that ass. Shaking that ass. All right, let's pull it up. Are we live? Mic 1. Hot mic, hot mic, hot mic, hot mic, hot mic, hot mic. Who's hungover? Besides me. Am I paying the phone bills? Who's here? Who's not here? Who's talking shit? Who's ready for it? Everybody get their beers going. Hello, 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 hello. How's that sound? How's that sound? How's that sound? How's that sound? How's that? Mic. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hear me now? Hear me now? Broadcast is live. Let's check it out. Nobody's here. 3 people watching. Why does it say there's nobody watching? How's it sound? Do I got a delay? What up, Lex? Still you, Braj? What's up, Lex? What's going on, Braj? Lex, how's my audio? Can you hear me now? Hear me now? Hear me now? Let's get a beer going. We got the watermelon tahini, ladies and girls. I'm gonna get electrocuted. Tonight's gonna be the night. Cable, what's going on, man? Brewmill Tony, what's going on, everybody? We're gonna get electrocuted. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Braj, what's up, Lex? What's going on, Braj? Lex, how's my audio? Oh, Tony, what's going on, man? Shit. Chat's looking good. Everything's looking chill. We got the watermelon tahini, ladies and girls. I'm gonna get electrocuted. All right, now I can turn that off. What's going on, guys? Cheers. Welcome to the broadcast. I think Maury might show up. What's going on, Tom? Cheers, guys. Cheers, everybody. Let me get a picture of this to send to. I went to Booze Brothers today, and they gave me a 4-pack. But I have to give them a shout out, so let's do it this way. I got to send this to Dave. You guys are like a 10-second delay, but this is proof. Cool. Let me know what you guys are drinking. Kevy, what's going on? Kev, cruise over if you want to. All right, watermelon tahini. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the broadcast. Wednesday. It's just me tonight, trying to still figure out how to do 2 microphones, and we kind of worked with what we had last Wednesday with Trevor. Hell Brews in the house. What's going on, Braj? Let me know if there's a problem. Audio, video's off, or there's a delay or anything. Just one camera tonight. I've got my OBS right here. I'm looking at it on YouTube. It looks pretty good. Everyone's chat showing up in the red. Brewmill Tony, Photo Kevy. Tom, Delonious Monk. What's going on, Barajas? Let me know in the comment section what you are drinking. Hit the 7-8 delay on the mic, okay? I was just talking to Kevin about this. So we're going to go to audio source. And we're going to go over here. And we're going to go to 780. That should be it. How's it sound now? What's going on? Yeah, tahini, Lex Steele, Tim Evans. Yes, I think I put the delay on. Let me know now. What did I just mute it? What did I do? 780 milliseconds. Does that make sense? Rainy Days Mindfuck, White Stout. We sound better? What's going on, Cable? Cable's helping me out. I think he's coming out here from, thank you, Kevin. Cable's coming out here from Arizona, I think. I don't know if he's, if he knows what's going on. We're going to weird him out, but it's all good, man. We'll live to tell about it. Let me know what's going on. I'm seeing some OGs, some new people. Tim, what's going on? Donovan, Yingling, good man. Tom up there in LA. What's going on, you Brajas? As always, if you guys have any questions while we're just ranting or shooting the shit, if you guys have any homebrew questions, throw it in the chat. Someone's going to love to answer it. I promise you. I've got 3 things written down today. Am I too much on the mic? I've got my Zoom H6 right here. Please don't. Can you guys see that? No, we're done with that. I'm lucky as is that everything just set up. Cool. Evan Gardner, what's going on? Cheers from Canada. Cheers from San Diego. Cheers from San Diego, you brunch, Evan Gardner. Kevin Caden, what's up? What's going on, you Brajes? Crazy 80s babies. Couple things. I have some stuff written down. If hold on, let's get a chugging. Let's get a cheers. Dunk. Oh. It's good. That first sip takes it all away, man. The shitty coworkers, the traffic, the boss that you're smarter than. Just one sip, man. First things first, hard seltzer video. Thank you to anybody who watched that. That video, that was the longest homebrew video that I've ever done by a lot. The Sir Strumming video that we did, for those who aren't aware, we did a Sir Strumming video. It was called The Worst Party Ever. 10 guys came over, and our buddy Donnie brought this fermented fish herring back from his weird-ass Swedish country or Norway or something. And we cracked it in the garage, and we made pretty much like a throw-up, like a reaction video. That video took probably, 40 hours to edit. But this video, we blew it with the last hard seltzer video, and I wanted to just make this one right. Like, everybody had stuck fermentations. Everybody had cloudy stuff. Really, we thought it was easier than it was. We thought it was a lot easier than it was. And if you watch that video, thank you. That's what I'm trying to say right now. If you watch that video, thank you. And I get burned out the longer the video is. I don't know why, because if I wasn't spending, say, 50, 60 hours to edit one video, I would just be doing other videos. We're doing sous vide video. I met up with Maury today. He wants to do this like mustard pork chop sous vide in our Anvil foundry. The Walmart roller, I want to do that video. There's a $90 roller on Walmart with 3 grains. A mill with 3, things that are in a mill that crush grains up. There's 2 rollers. There's 2 rollers and there's 3 rollers. Walmart has one for about half the price. That's huge. Grain mills are huge. That can save a brew day. I mean, there's been so many days where, that could complete a brew house and save a brew day. There's so many days where you're so ready to brew and you've got everything. You just need to go to your local homebrew store to have them mill it, and they're closed. And it sucks. We've all been there. It's a nightmare. Aaron Mallow, what's going on, you Braj? Fridge menu chalk. That's Trevor's video. How to adjust your mash. Channel trailer. How to make a carbon filter. How to make a carbon filter. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that. Carbon filter. If you pull up the hard seltzer video, there's a lot of good comments. There was one dude who was talking about adding seashells to the mash or something. Talking about like a pH thing. I do not know. I don't know if he's just trying to sell me some seafood or a 5 pound grain bag or something. But there's a lot of good advice. We get the trolls. We do the hard seltzer videos, and people are talking about, hey, you're a homebrew channel, stick to beer and stuff. Whether you think that hard seltzers are craft or they're carbonated prison juice, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're here to stay. And I was at Helia today, a brewery in Vista. My buddy Kelby owns a brewery called Helia. It's a very, very great brewery, good theme. And we were just talking about hard seltzers. And, if you go into a tasting room, they've got 20 IPAs on, and you're there with a girl or a guy that doesn't like IPAs, you're not going to leave. You're going to order a hard seltzer. And at a time where everybody's trying to stay in business or make a buck, I'm on the hard seltzer train. I'm on the, I had Ryan from Battle Mage, the owner of Battle Mage, on the Brajcast, the Spotify Brajcast, the Serious Brajcast, And he was just like, we're not doing hard seltzers. There's just an integrity thing to it. And I respect that and I understand and I get that. But I drink hard seltzers. I'd be a poser and a liar if I said I don't. I mean, I drink Coors Light. I am not a beer snob at all. No. Beer doesn't need to be snobby. Beer doesn't need to be too expensive. We don't need a company to come out and start selling us $10 Pilsners, $10 pints of Pilsner. But yeah, hard seltzer, carbon filter. But real quick, if you want to look at the comment section on the hard seltzer video, there's a lot of stuff that people brought up that I didn't even think about. And I've said this before, and I'm saying it again right now. You can learn more from a YouTube video just from the comment section than the actual video. Because there's always going to be some guy that comes in that's been doing it for 30 years that never read a book. He just knows about it from old man strength. And yeah, that's it. There's some really weird shit, cool stuff that went through. And that's it. Carbon filter. I tried to make one. This was before I found out about the Lutra yeast, Omega Lutra. And that was crazy. After fermenting with that Omega Kavik, nobody correct me. Fermenting with that, it comes out looking like LaCroix. It comes out looking like, I don't know, White Claw, uncarbonated White Claw. I mean, you don't have to use gelatin. You don't have to use a carbon filter. But we could still make the carbon filter video, run water through it, run your tap water through it. I mean, you don't have to just use it for hard seltzer. You got to kind of figure out your break-even point. I was talking to Kelby from Helia, and he was talking about going the carbon filter route because they're going to start doing hard seltzers. And I told him to look into the Lutra first. And if you can get it in bulk, Lutra, Omega, the thing about where we are right now. Oh, we got some people in the chat. Alex Garcia, what's going on? Chris, you Braj, what's up? What's up, the Brew Show? The Brew Show, that's Trent. He just got a new Instagram. He finally is not using his personal account. Follow the Brew Show on Instagram. Trent puts out the best produced homebrew content on YouTube. He went to film school. You could just tell, you could watch the Brew Show's videos and you could tell that he's not winging it like the rest of us. So check him out. He's got a new Instagram he's got going, Brew Show. Check his channel out. He did a kombucha video. He did a maple beer brown ale video. And I'll Trent, throw your links in here. It's all good, dog. We're getting texts. So we could talk about hard seltzers, the whole thing. I had two other things written down that I was thinking about all week. People making money during COVID. There's a lot of people making a lot of money right now. There's a lot. I went over to my dad's house the other day, and he had one of those $150 thermometer guns that he put. I started laughing my ass off. I almost shit my pants. He spent $150 to go up and take my thermometer or take my temperature with a handgun thermometer instantly, just like that. I can't even imagine how, if there's one company that makes the guns, or if there's a bunch, or if it's just one company like Apple that owns the market on all MP3 players. And I just wrote this down. This is stupid. Me and my buddies were talking about this last night, but I do have a good argument. The best NFL football team of all time. And I know what I'm talking about. No, I don't. So that's it. Let's check out the chat. What's going on? The Brew Show. Hophead, what's up, you Braj? NBC? Should we do an NBC? I got to hit the NBC button when we go to the bathroom. When I go to the bathroom. I got to make it long enough where I can pee, shake, and zip before I come back to this and nobody's not sitting here. Heat wrap in a mini fridge. I'm talking to, I don't know if you guys check out the Portly Gentleman. He's been sending me some interesting videos this week. We're talking about doing a collab. He got a Home Depot trash can, a plastic trash can, a Brute plastic trash can, and he boiled in it. And he wants to make a beer where we boil in plastic. It didn't melt. It worked. I should have connected my phone to this so you guys could actually see the video. He drilled a hole through the bottom of the trash can just with a hole saw, just how I make my fermenters, my plastic fermenters. He put a heat source through and he filled it up with 5 gallons of water and he actually boiled it. And I don't want to drink beer that has been boiled in plastic. But we can work with that. You don't have to boil it. You could bring that water to maybe a DIY heat temp thing. You know, if you don't have a chest freezer, or I don't know, just want to cut a couple corners. That's a good way to cut a couple corners and do something DIY, especially for a YouTube video. Might get some clickbait, but yeah, I'm talking with Brad, the portly gentleman, going back and forth right now, talking about doing a collab. He's up there in Ventura. We're down here in Carlsbad. So check his channel out. It's kind of like Homebrew for Life. You know, there's channels that are grain to glass. There's channels that are short-circuited. He's just talking about the nicest brew stuff, the top of the line, the stuff I can't afford, the pressure fermented stuff. I don't even like doing pressure fermentation, transferring under pressure. And the portly gentleman is kind of more of like Homebrew for Life, just DIY, how to make a racking arm out of 99 cents and a used condom, or, you know, your ex-girlfriend's hair or something. I don't know. Matto, what's going on? German plumber. You think this guy's German or what? Homebrew moron. He's back. Alex Garcia. I don't know which, is that Colorado Avalanche? Got an interesting, Benjamin Harris. Ever had the idea to add caffeine or vitamin B complex vitamins to brew? Sounds like yeast nutrient, if you're asking me. There's a lot of vitamin B in yeast nutrient. But I don't know. We made that yeast nutrient, like when we did the hard seltzer with the Lutra, we put in everything that you're looking at. Like there's a hard seltzer recipe in this magazine. This is a very good beer magazine. I plugged this. And this magazine's getting better. They did a recipe, modular craft seltzer, and everything you're going to see online is like add 2 grams of either yeast energizer or diammonium phosphate or yeast nutrient. The proper seltzer, the Omega proper seltzer, which I've never even had, their packet of yeast nutrient is 1 ounce. There's 28 grams in an ounce. This one says it's in a magazine. It should have the most credibility. Boil for 10 minutes. I didn't even do that. Then add 2 grams yeast nutrient. You don't have to boil at all. You just want to get it over 180 so it kills off any bacteria. Chill to 68. I did that, and then pitch the yeast after 24 hours. Add 2 more grams of yeast nutrient, and then do the same thing the following day. That's pretty much what we did in the second part of the hard seltzer video with the wine cuvee yeast. It gets stuck fermentation after 2 days. You got to open up the bung or however you do it. You got to add more yeast or more yeast nutrient. But I think the name of the game is just increase the dosage to like an ounce. So here, I wanted to close the door on the hard seltzer Homebrew for Life chapter. I just was done with it. I've got 15 gallons of hard seltzer in my fridge right now, which isn't bad, which I'm not complaining. There's nothing more drinkable than hard seltzer. I mean, we're going to go through this stuff pretty fast. I just wanted to be, yeah, I mean, like if you had 10 gallons of whiskey or mead or wine or something, I mean, 10 gallons of whiskey, 10 gallons of moonshine, you're going to sit on it forever and it's going to take up your kegs. Trev, who? What's up, man? Trevor, cruise over for an NBC. I'm coming to drink the cruise over right now. You have to sit over here, though, and talk really loud because there's only one mic tonight. But I wanted to be done with the hard seltzer thing with Homebrew for Life, but then today I caught wind that White Labs does a... Trevor, check this out. White Labs... I'm looking at Trevor right here. White Labs does a yeast nutrient that's... I think it's called Seltzer Max. Check it out. So they're trying to compete with Omega Labs' yeast nutrient, and I believe it's called Seltzer Max. And that one I probably can get because White Labs is San Diego. Omega is Chicago. Yeah, let me somebody throw it in the chat. Here, I'll do it right here. Seltzer Max. This blend of nutrients has been specifically designed to create a clean, dry, and clear hard seltzer. That's the number one thing. When you do hard seltzer, like I talked a little bit of shit about Belching Beaver's hard seltzer on the broadcast on Spotify because it's not a hard seltzer. They had puree in it and it tastes like juice and it's not clear. When I wanted to make this, I wanted it to be a White Claw or Truly clone. And I think when people order that, that's what they expect. Somebody throw the link in here. Seltzer Max. Clear hard seltzer. Seltzer Max trademark has been optimized to provide essential nitrogen, vitamins, and minerals for yeast health, resulting in a fast and complete hard seltzer fermentation. This product does contain diammonium phosphate. That's what we used. And has been formulated to be balanced with organic sources of nitrogen. But let's see what the recommended pitch is. I'm sure it's going to be like proper yeast. Is proper yeast omega? Is proper yeast omega? Omega does slay, Matto. But I would imagine that price varies by size, part number. Okay, but what's the pitch? Here it is. Available in 1 ounce. Does that mean you throw the whole ounce in? For high gravity seltzers, less than 10% Play-Doh, higher dosage may result in efficient fermentation. I don't know. I would just throw the whole thing in. That's kind of the whole purpose. Instead of just going back, opening it, putting in a little bit more, a couple more grams. I thought when we did it with the Cuvée yeast and the hard seltzer video, me doing 6 grams was overkill. But no, maybe that's it. I think you just need probably 1 ounce of yeast nutrient per 5-gallon batch for hard seltzer. So scale that up, take it, start a commercial brewery, run with it, and live your life. Follow your dreams. Take over the world with hard seltzers. But it was cool. Omega hit me up today. I sent him the video last night, and I don't think we shit on anybody in the video. I don't have a problem with that because I'd always want to go the honest route over, politics or buddy shit. And there was no reason to really shit on anybody. And the Lutra yeast was awesome. That would be a good Homebrew for Life video, is to do a Lutra hard seltzer blind taste contest with Truly or White Claw. And if nobody can tell the difference, then that would be awesome for people that brew hard seltzers. But I hit them up. I sent them the video last night. I emailed Omega just through their, I don't know anybody over there, but just through their contact on their website. And they hit me back this morning, and they enjoyed the video, and they were like, what size are you and Maury? We want to send you guys some stuff. And you said that you can't get our products at your local homebrew stores. Our local homebrew stores are whack as hell. They used to be way better. And I called them up and I asked them if they had Omega stuff. And they might as well even laughed at me because they barely have the popular White Lab strains. And I don't know. Maybe that's just how it is. I mean, there's not enough homebrewers anymore for them to stay on top of their inventory, I guess. I don't know. But I sent them the information. I said, hit up Bear Roots and Carlsbad Brew Supply, and hopefully Bear Roots and Carlsbad Brew Supply buy Omega yeast, because I know there's a lot of people in San Diego that want to brew with it. I think Trevor did it. I think he did the lager with the Kvike yeast. It's making more sense to me. He brought it up last Wednesday, and this week I was researching it, and I want to do that now. But shout out to Peter from Genus Brewing. I'm sure you guys, if you're watching us, I'm sure you watch them. I think they're bigger than us. I think they have like 20 or 30,000 subscribers. It's not about that though. But yeah, if I got to get Omega yeast, it's going to cost me like $35-$40. And I don't know. Maybe I can go down to Ballast Point's Homebrew Mart. I know that they have a good homebrew store downtown. Let's check out the chat. Matt, what's going on? Crazy 80s baby. Tom Manning, what's going on? Kevin Caton. All right, I like it. You guys are going back and forth with each other. I see the sad stuff. It's pretty cool. We got 44 on. Let us know where you're at in the world. Let us know what you're drinking tonight. Let's drink some beer. Sleeveless in Seattle. I don't know how Peter does that. I would imagine Spokane is cold. It's pretty close to Canada. And I watch a show and there's two guys wearing sweatshirts, Logan and their guest, and Peter's shorts, tank top, sandals. I'm jealous. 45 people watching. Shout out. Thumbs up the video, I guess. Peter always says that. Cable Hogan, I'll bring a large selection of Omega with me when I come out. Yeah, I want to do the other one that starts with an H. I don't know how to pronounce it. Hornamindel. But I know they've got 4 or 5 Kamaikovickies. And it's going to be rad. When are we going to get a Genus Homebrew for Life crossover? Peter came down a couple weeks ago, and he didn't hit me up. But I talked to him, and Esteban Flemings, what up, you Braj? But I talked to Peter, and I'll get him on the broadcast. Is the Spotify link even work on this? Let's pull this up. Sometimes it's kind of Spotify link is good. We're doing podcasts all weekend. And Peter had a kid, I think, when he was like 20 or 22, and he was booked up the whole time he came down here in San Diego. He was just partying and visiting family, I believe. And for those who aren't aware, San Diego's kind of 2 cities. There's downtown, which is downtown, the airport, the stadiums, Little Italy, North Park, South Park, Hillcrest. And then I would say maybe Photo Kevy could maybe agree with me on this. You get up to like Miramar, La Jolla, it starts turning into North County, and we're about 40 minutes away from each other. 30 minutes, no traffic. 2 hours if they're working on the freeway, which they were. Spotify broadcast was solid. Thank you, Homebrew Moron. That was fun. But back to Peter. We'll get together. Genus Brewing, it's there. I think it's going to be one of those things where I have to go to him. We've talked on the phone a couple times. We mostly shoot the shit through text, but he explained to me that I think he's 30 years old. He's got 3 kids. He runs a business. He runs a YouTube channel. He's a very hardworking dude. I think he's a very good dude. What was that? And briefly, he's kind of explained to me that I think he had a kid when he was 21, and he's never really had like the college party life, the roommate bachelor life. I think I don't know if he's uber religious or just kind of had an unexpected kid, and he's just been, Johnny, awesome family man from there. So it'll happen. I got to get up there. We were supposed to go to Canada before all this COVID bullshit. We were supposed to go to Canada. We were supposed to go to Spokane. We were going to tie it into one trip. We were going to hit Seattle. There's the homies up in the Pacific Northwest. Who are they? It's another YouTube channel. Been there, tap that. Andrew and the homies up there. Ryan Sheely, hello from Huntington Beach. Scott Shrewsbury, I love your name, dude. I love your name. Scott Shrewsbury. Getting lucky in Kentucky. Something tells me if I had a nickel every time you said that, I'd probably have about $5.25. Yeah, the Spotify broadcast was cool. That was Ryan. That was really the first one. The one we did with Maury, that was just this is the broadcast virtual happy hour. The real broadcast is on Spotify. That's when I just shut the fuck up and I just want to hear people talk about beer or how they got into beer. And Ryan had a good story. Battle Mage Ryan, he was, for those who are late to the table, I go to 3 breweries pretty much consistently. 4 breweries. I go to Helia, Culver, Booze Brothers, and Battle Mage. And Craft Coast and some Oceanside stuff. But like breweries that I go to at least once a week, which is a lot. I shouldn't be going to breweries that much. Or am I looking at it the wrong way? Should I be going to breweries more? Battle Mage, Culver, Booze Brothers, and now Helia. Great people, great beer, great tasting rooms. But Ryan was telling me when he graduated from you, the owner of Battle Mage, Ryan Sather, whose dad is the CEO of El Pollo Loco. I don't know if he's going to like me saying that, but there's nothing to be ashamed of. Type in Steve Sather. And I want Ryan to be here right now so we could talk about that because people watch the broadcast. Thanks, Dave Foster. Thanks, Rhino. But he was saying, let me see how good of a listener I am. Ryan graduated from UC Santa Cruz and he immediately got a job working at Payway, which is probably a very bad salaried job. I mean, a job's a job. You know, I'll pick up dog shit for a living. But he was working at Payway, and that snowballed into him being a manager at Luna Grill. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to talk to him because he has experience. You know, he knows what it's like to run a business. And if there's a guy or girl that says, hey, this employee slapped my ass or sexually harassed me, he knows the proper ways to go about it. If someone's stealing, if someone's clocking in or trying to get overtime or something, he actually knows the protocols and has the experiences from working at restaurants in the corporate fast food chain world. So that's one of the reasons Battle Mage runs a great business where they don't cut any corners and there's nobody working for free or there's nobody working illegally or there's nothing sketchy of anything about it. And he was talking about a weekend getaway with the Luna Grill managers or owners. I think managers, and they went up to Big Bear, which is a ski resort, which is a mountain 2 hours from here. You can go ski. There's a lake, drink beer. It's awesome up there. They went up to Big Bear Lake, and this story's already funny to me because the last thing I want to do is go on vacation with my fucking coworkers. You got to see these idiots 40 days a week. You know, I work construction. I pour beer. I could probably go on vacation with them, but like the last thing I would ever want to do is go on vacation with my construction coworkers where we're freaking out all day. And then, you know, there's no PC culture in construction. You know, everyone's ripping on everyone's calling me a pussy. You know, I'm going to bang your mom. And now to go on vacation with these guys would not be vacation in my book. So he goes on vacation with the Luna Grill managers. And this is when he was in his homebrew days. And one of his claims to fame, his favorite beer, is this beer called Summon Ifrit from Final Fantasy. And it's an amber. And he brought the beers on the trip and he was handing them out to all his colleagues. And they were impressed with how good his beer was. And the manager said something like, well, if you put half as much effort into your beer as you did at your job, like I would have given you the promotion or something. And he was like, yeah, you're right. You know, if you were as passionate about making beer as you were like having a job at Luna Grill and like climbing the ladder, you'd be further ahead. And he was like, Ryan's a very disciplined guy. He's not a rage quitter. And he was like, you know what? You're right. You know, 25 years old. I still got, you know, more than enough time to get established in my career. And that was kind of the sign that, you're right. I'll make beer for a living. I'll piece together ways how to make beer for a living. So I don't have to see or hear people like you, let alone go on vacation with you. So construction gets people fired up. Construction's gnarly. You're going to have a pretty gnarly threshold for patience. And the thing about construction, nothing's ever done right on the fly. Everything's a custom job. So there's fuck ups. There's people freaking out. You're almost either sober or you're like a junkie. You know, there's always like the roofing guy that's missing his teeth and shit. Who, you know, grown ass man that weighs 80 pounds. That would be my nightmare, to go on vacation with my construction workers. I don't know. But that was a good story on the broadcast. That was funny. I'm going to be a douchebag right now and grab my phone, but it's probably a pretty good time for Major Beer I'm gonna call Maury right now. What up, Goose Frabba? We're calling Maury right now. We're gonna crank anchor him. Jerky boys. He's not gonna answer. Maury's one of those guys that doesn't really talk on the phone. I don't think it's happening. I know he's out. He just texted me a picture of him drinking at a Mission Bar and Grill.
Please leave your message for 7.
You're a loser, Maury. Oh. So, yeah. Anybody who's down with the broadcast, check it out. Spotify. I don't know how it works. I don't know. I think I can check out who views it. Having a podcast is weird. It's kind of like having a website. You got to buy like hosting, and somehow I'm already out of hosting. You have to pay for storage, and it's like $30 a month. And I don't know. Oh, here it is. Okay, so cool. We got 68 views on the Battle Mage one. Thank you. Shout out to you if you watched that. I saw that. Where'd he go? Dave Foster. Digging the cast. Roswell's Works Construction. What do you do, Braj? What's your trade? And cool. So yeah, what do we have else? I was thinking about this all week. People making money in COVID right now. People making money during COVID right now. And there's a lot of people making a lot of money. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing, but it's just a thing. It's, let me write this down really fast. There's what do you call a place that sells guns and ammo? Gunnery? Gun shop? Gun shop. There's a gun shop that's next to Culver Brewery, and they are killing it. I think they were killing it more so back in probably like March, April, May, when COVID first happened. But there's a lot of people that are buying guns, ammunition. My dad buying the $150 thermometer gun. Who's making money off that? Single-use plastic. You know, everyone doing to-go sales, to-go food, plastics through the roof. Not that we already don't have a gigantic plastic problem, but you know, what are you gonna do? What's the alternative? Cardboard forks. I hate those cardboard straws. Aluminum. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am, but we get our aluminum from China, which doesn't make sense to me because it seems like such an easy thing we could do in the States. It's very cheap metal, and we recycle, so we can, you know, reuse it, and we can, you know, there's not too many things that you can turn trash into. It's pretty much what recycling is. Subscriptions, Netflix, Pornhub, Hulu, homebrew stores. What trade was I? Pretty much right-hand man to everything, but I enjoyed finished carpentry the best. Hated drywall. Never really did flooring. I don't know. Probably finished carpentry. Just framing. Finished carpentry. I never was in charge of a job. I was never in charge of a job. I was always right hand to somebody, and we always had like a 10-man crew, and we'd break up sometimes, go 5 guys here and 5 guys there. But I don't know. Is that it? Construction? Is that, or the rich get richer? Are they affected by COVID? Especially if you're specializing in decks and pergolas and patios and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of breweries. There's a lot of businesses in Carlsbad that they'll knock out 2 parking spots and they'll put up a patio. No, they'll probably knock out more than that. Like I live on a Carlsbad Village right here, and there's a beautiful street called State Street. And it's mostly antique stuffs and restaurants, and they put trees in the street and run Christmas lights through it year round, and kind of reminds me of Cal Poly or San Luis Obispo and downtown Santa Barbara. But they'll take, I don't know how that works with the city, but you take away 4 of your parking spots right there, and you start building really nice patios, and you can make them cool and kind of build walls around them and then let vines grow and stuff like that. So if you're in construction and you're doing outside patios, I wouldn't think you're affected at all. People are still probably a little bit weird if you're, going inside their house, just in general, even without COVID. You got your 80-pound tweaker-looking guy hanging out in a Rancho Santa Fe house where the husband's gone. It's just his wife at home. It's like, nah, we're going to lock the door and just, fix the gate, fence, or patio outside. Do I ever go to 5 Guys? Tom Alvarado's exactly right. There's 4 things you always buy local. Always. What are they? Beer, coffee, weed, which shouldn't be hard, and meat. Get your meat. Go to those little Mexican markets and get your meat there. That's probably the best meat you're going to buy. Rodeos off Rancho Santa Fe Road. The worser English that they have, the better their meat's going to be. The less factory shot up steroids, hormone shit is going to come from. It's going to actually come from farms like Uruguay. My mom lives in Uruguay. And when you go down there, everything's grass fed. They don't have to put it on the wrapper as a marketing tool. And don't forget the hookers. Yeah. And more weed. So I know you guys all have friends that own coffee shops and stuff like that, or don't own coffee shops but sell their own coffee. Buy it from them. Buy it online. I know it's going to be a couple bucks more to pay for shipping, or maybe not. Maybe they have farmers markets and stuff like that. That's what I need to do more. I need to go to more farmers markets. Meat is expensive as hell at farmers markets. Chickens at Costco are $5. Chickens at farmers markets are $20. But you just get peace of mind. You feel better. Like if you, Babs, who helps out with the channel, he's a hunter, and he's like the Joe Rogan, eat the meat that you hunt. And he's like, yeah, like the animals that I kill, like those are the happiest animals that ever lived. I know it sucks to talk about, but the Vons and the Safeways and stuff, that's just all factory shot up animals and shit like that. Without getting too deep or too depressing, buy your meat locally. Mexican meat markets. It's where it's at, man. It is where it's at. It's not even really about the cut sometimes. It's like, how well can you prepare it? I mean, you could make, are you mixing it with stuff? You can make carne asada taste like filet mignon if you're marinating and doing it right. And support local. Whoever said that. Blake Chosen, Greg Winters, what up, you brunch? Waiting on a half a steer from a local farmer. I wish I could afford that. I wish I could get a vertical chest freezer in my garage that had just one animal, one steer, half a steer, that would just last me a year. I would become such a better cook. I want to get into sous vide. A guy I'm having on the Brajcast on Friday, that's what he does, Spotify Brajcast, and I want to talk to him about it. He was a dude that was vegan his whole life, or vegetarian, and he started getting really weak. And he's my height, really good dude. It's Kathy's husband, Kevin, if you're still here, Adam. And he went from being a vegan to not feeling good, and I don't know if he was achy or just just being a pussy. I don't know. But he started eating meat, but it was just solely no fast food, nothing from a factory, just from a farm. And he only eats his meat, and he makes beef jerky out of it, and his shit is so delicious, and I'm envious of it. So I want to have him on, and I want to talk to him about it because I'm a failed Joe Rogan. I don't know. We always just have really interesting conversations. He's not really a beer guy. I used to work with his wife at Booze Brothers, but we always just have really good conversations. And he makes me want to become like a better dude and a better listener and just get better at like the ability to listen, you know, because I put myself, yeah, I love Adam. Hell yeah, Adam's the Braj. Yeah, Esteban, he knows what's up. Sous vide makes amazing steaks. If you have a Grainfather, mash and boil, or Anvil Foundry, or whatever these temperature control all-in-one brew systems are, you have a sous vide machine. Sous vide machine. But anyways, he's coming on the broadcast on Friday, and then something cool is on Saturday. I think I'm doing the broadcast with Trent. That was another bummer about the hard seltzer videos. I canceled on like 3 people's broadcasts. Sorry about that, Trev. Sorry about that brew show. Trev's Saturday, and then do you guys Flora Brewery channel? It's the girl brunette. She's trying to be the what does she call herself? The pre-2004 Martha Stewart. She's got a cool channel. Let me pull it up really fast. It's called, I think, just Flora. I'm having her on Sunday. And Flora Brewery. Her name's Sarah. Flora Brewing. Cool. She's got recent content out. Cranberry and Lime Lager Brew Day. And then she also did this week, she did hot pink cranberry lime lager recipe build. She seems cool. I reached out to her, and she's down. Flora Brewing. Yes. Smoking meat while brewing is the best combination. So that's what you're calling it these days? Martha Stewart of brewing, yeah. Yeah. We're trying to, she's in LA. Portly Gentleman's in LA. Trent, the brew show's in LA. Genus is Washington State. Short Circuited, I think, is Ohio. Clawhammer Supply, I don't know. Larry the Cable Guy Barbecue, I don't know. And then Homebrew for Life, we're North County, San Diego. Should I show you my tattoo? It's in my inner thigh. I'm kidding. 2 gophers or squirrels on your inner thigh, just looking up like that. No. Yeah, it's a great channel, Rhino. She's got a lot of content. She's got 92 videos. How old is her channel? Oh, she's got the Patreon. She's going that route. Damn, she joined a year ago. That's pretty crazy. She's been in the game for a year, and she's got almost 100 videos. 15,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Extract American Ale, Brew Day, No Chill, Homebrew Imperial, Red Ale review, Counter Pressure. She's got a cool, I think it's a kitchen, little indoor hangout. Mostly electric, I think. I feel like she's been on Clawhammer Supply. She's got a lot of content. And I'm going to have her on because I want to talk to her about editing and frustrations and trying to find time to edit. And I think it's really interesting, just her being a girl, right? I mean, if you're gonna stand out more if you're a girl or a minority. Take that how you want it. That's just how it's going to be. Like if you're a girl and you're going to be into like a guy's dominated industry, brewing, mechanic, gaming, tool time, you're just going to stand out more. And I get it. I would way rather look at her than some shitty ass dude like me. Tall, white, bearded guys with backwards hats. We're everywhere. We're all the same. We're all the same exact person. We all have the same mom and same dad. She's got a lot of content. Yeah, her first video was 1 year ago. Tight. So that's all I got to say about that. What up, Martin Weber? What up, you brunch? Let's drink some beer. I've got a Pilsner. It's a 32 ounce, though. It's a Crowler. If I was a girl, I would just play video games all day, wearing a bra on Twitch. Make a killing. And people do that. There's people I follow on Twitch, good-looking girls with their titties hanging out that just play songs on acoustic guitar, and they are killing it. I'm talking like probably $1,000 a day in donations. It's genius. You don't have to work a job. Just learn like 3 Tom Petty songs, play them over and over, $200 bikini, a little bit of makeup, and you're fucking retired. You're cooking with grease. So I'm having her on Sunday. That should be cool. We're not going to do it in person. We're going to do it I can do it over the phone. I could do it through Zencaster. I'm trying to figure all this shit out on the fly. And I got my hosting for the broadcast through Libsyn. And then through Zencaster, as long as anybody has at least a good USB microphone, we could do the broadcast. Who knows? You might be on. I want to do it as much as possible, but I also want to like mentally prepare for these once a day where it's like, if I have somebody on, I put the phone in the other room and I just want to shut up. And it's not going to be like, we're here to, watch C.H. Ramori from Homebrew for Life. It's just to hear someone's story on where they are in the world and how they got into beer. What's my Twitch tag? CH_brews. What up, Paper Cup Brewing in the house? What up, you brunch? What are you guys drinking? Dustin Taylor. I'm still drinking my Al Farm Watermelon Tajín Goza. I tagged them on Instagram. Do you think they retagged it? Gave me a shout out? I'm just kidding. That was the biggest loser thing I've ever said. My friend Chris runs it, and I know he's not going to shout me out. Saucy Special. Rock and roll, baby. I've got a couple of these, and then I've got... Tonight, we're going to get electrocuted. We got a Pilsner. It's not really Pilsner weather, but you can drink these, and you can drink these all day, and you're not going to slur your words as if you were drinking a triple IPA. Here's Helia. We talked about it earlier. That's my friend Kelby's Brewery. Very like endless summer, chill vibe theme out there in Vista, California. Right across from Battle Mage, which is, I love. I love being a consumer and not a business owner right now. Because I can go to like 5 of my favorites breweries in like a 1 mile radius. There's a lot of breweries in San Diego. And I think it's going to be interesting when COVID's over. Me and Kelby were kind of talking about that today. We think it's either going to be over by April or it's never going to be over. I don't know, man. Some of these fucking people in charge. We're not going there. But it's heartbreaking. My heart goes out to anybody that's affected by COVID, whether it's health or financially. I could do a YouTube video why I would get fired in 5 minutes if I were president, but I'm not. Or am I? First things first, we're getting rid of Yelp. No more Yelp. Yelp sucks. Get rid of Yelp. It makes the world a better place. I don't know. I never know what the hell I'm talking about. See you next year at HomebrewCon. I would love that. I would love to go to... I've never been to Great American Beer Festival. I would be the drunkest, most obnoxious guy there. Me, Maury, maybe Kev. I don't know who's got money, what the travel situation's going to be like. We would just be running around with a camera, just fucking with people and having a blast. And it would be fun. Where is GABF? Denver? Boulder? I know Colorado, there's like 3 or 4 main cities like right in the center. And then there's nothing that goes on outside of it. Because we used to go there, we used to play them in college, and it'd be like Boulder, where was CSU? Fort Collins, Colorado State, Denver, DU, and you could hit all their main cities were like within an hour from each other. And then outside of that, it's like everything's just South Park. Everything's just a South Park cartoon out after that. It's in Denver. Where's GABF in Colorado? Kevin writes back, Colorado. Yelp's dead and Yelp sucks. Yelp hits me up from like a company that I tried to start 10 years ago. And they're like, hey, do you want to buy ad space? And it's just like, for a dead company, and you guys are still like the one person trying to sell me shit? I don't know, man. Yelpers. I don't understand how. I think if you do Yelp, though, and I think I've said this on a broadcast before, or a podcast, or virtual happy hour, if you do give somebody a bad Yelp review, you should give 3 people good Yelp reviews, because it seems like people only tend to bitch when something bad happens, and bad news travels light years faster than good news. It's kind of weird how it works like that. It's kind of weird how that is, but yeah, I mean, if you have a bad experience at a if you have a good experience at a restaurant, you might remember to tell 3 people the next day. You might remember to tell, maybe your coworker or somebody that sat next to you or somebody you saw. If you have a bad experience at a restaurant, you tell everybody. You tell 10 people. I don't know why it's like that. But I think I'm going to crack that Pilsner. What do you guys think? Should we keep it going? A couple more beers? Christopher's saying it's in Boulder now. Ooh, someone's bullshitting me. Denver, Boulder, I think they're pretty close. Unicycle Master, what up, you bros? Massachusetts breweries are next level. You know what's next level is their extract. The extracts, I want to say one more thing about hard seltzers. A lot of people scrape or dump out their hard seltzers if it's like sulfury, which sulfury is like the fart smell, or if it's just kind of like winey or it smells yeasty or a little bit dry or something like champagne. Extract is gnarly, and it will hide all of those smells. It's super forgiving. It's not going to help with the color or make it clear. That's where the Lutra comes into place. But if you have a little bit, the baby turtle fart smell, the baby rhino farts, I love those. And you can also just purge that. Sulfur goes away after time. Like if you pull a gravity reading from a fermenter and it smells sulfury, just give it another week, give it another couple days. It's a lager thing that goes through this process of, I don't know why, it just smells like shit just from CO2 getting released or something, and it's stinky. And you can also purge it off if you want to do it faster. So if you want to keg it, crank up your CO2 tank and then just purge it, and then maybe not every day, but maybe the next day give it a purge, next day give it a purge, and you will get rid of sulfur smell. But you don't need to do that. Like, we worked with this company, Olive Nation, best extract ever. People knock extract like when they use it in beers, but it's the exact opposite. Like, you want to use it in hard seltzers. Like if I'm drinking beer, yeah, I want to use real fruit or puree or cocoa nibs or coconut shavings. Like you actually want to use it, but that's not the case for hard seltzers. You want it to look as clear as a LaCroix. And we worked with a company out there in Massachusetts called Olive Nation, and it's really weird because we do a bunch of off the wall shit. I mean, I don't think so, but people think we do. But they liked the video. They helped out and kind of sponsor it. And there's been a couple product placements we've done where I think it's just like copy paste. I think once you get over maybe 10,000 subscribers, businesses just hit you with a copy paste, and everybody hits us up. And it's pretty much a telemarketing call at this point. I'm not bragging. You're legitimately having like people come to you saying like, hey, can you put my mustard in your video? Or can you use my vitamin B pill or this hangover cure? And I've had people be such assholes where they're like, well, like, yeah, can you like give us some free product or throw us a couple bucks or buy us beer? And they'll be like, well, you say you're going to upload weekly videos anyway, so you're going to do the video anyway. Can you just throw our product in your video? And it's like, no, dude. That was a Crowler machine guy that hit me up. And I don't even remember the name. I do remember the name. I'm not going to say it. But he was a super gnarly douchebag about it. And I have this fear that once the video goes live, someone's going to be like, oh, you didn't represent our brand well or something like that. You guys are too goofy. You guys are just chugging beers and screaming and dicking off too much. And that's can happen. That can very easily happen. You know, people they're looking out for their branding, you know, perception, how they're perceived and stuff. And Olive Nation was really cool. They have a great product, and it was just really easy to work with them. So if you guys are doing anything with extracts, I highly recommend Olive Nation. And I don't know. I'm kind of being a salesman right now, but we have a good relationship with them. I'm not getting paid any money to say this. It's just a good product. It's just good extract. Don't use it in beer, though. Use it in hard seltzer. And it's affordable. And you don't need... The thing about hard seltzer, you do not need... the thing about extract, you do not need a lot. You do not need a lot. I've made the mistake before of taking a whole hard seltzer, I don't know, 3 or 4 ounce thing and just pouring it in to a 5-gallon batch, pouring it into a keg. And it's like, it's kind of like, you know, when you eat a hop, if you take hop pellets and you're like, hey, I'm going to eat it, and you chew on it, and then you just have this like fry ball taste in your mouth. Extract's kind of like that, but even gnarlier. Yeah, Olive Nation promo code. I think it's good question. HBL20. Yeah, thanks, Kev. That's Kev. He shoots some of the videos. We're due. We need to make a video. I've been doing the COVID friendly thing where I've got an external monitor. Check it out. These guys did pay me $1 million to say this. No, I'm just kidding. This is just a really good product too. You see this right here, and then I'll take this and I'll put it on a tripod, another tripod. So I take the camera and I point it down or shoot the keg or whatever we're doing, and I can just look at it from here, and it makes life way easier. I kind of get weirded out having people over and stuff, you know. I think that everybody's got their different COVID levels of comfort. Like, we're not all on the same page. Half my friends think it's bullshit. Half my friends think know people that it's killed. You know, it's just kind of this weird thing. Try to do the stuff kind of by myself. I don't want to have 10 guys in the garage right now. I think that would just rub a lot of people the wrong way. And I get it. But this is how I do it. This is how I film. Feel World 4K. The only bummer about this is that they should have included fucking batteries when they're selling people stuff. You have to buy third-party batteries and put those in right there. But it's cool. It works great. It's kind of heavy. It requires pretty much its own tripod. I don't like putting it on my camera. My little Sony A7 II right here. But yeah, less is more with extract. And I have made the mistake of taking the 4 ounces and putting it into the keg. And then ultimately the only fix I've known for that, how to get rid of that, is either dump it out if you're you, but I'm just going to drink a gallon, and then just dump another gallon or two of water in there, just bottled gallons of water. And then you're just going to dilute the alcohol for hard seltzers. You're just going to dilute the alcohol. So you're going to go to 5% to 3%, and at least you have something, and you salvaged whatever your 3 gallons of hard seltzer. But start less. It's like one of those things where just start with I think there's 2 tablespoons to every ounce. Start with 1 tablespoon per 5 gallons. Shake it up. Nothing's going to explode. Put it on the ground, and then try another tablespoon and just keep going from there. I'd be very surprised. Obviously, maybe with extracts like lemon and key lime are going to be more stringent than maybe, I don't know, vanilla or something, or almond or eggnog. The citric, the stuff that's lower in pH is probably going to be more potent. But I don't think you could ever go over more than like 2 ounces for a 5-gallon batch. Start with a half ounce, scale up to 1 ounce, and then like if you actually next time you drink a White Claw or a Truly, there's really just a hint of the flavor in there. It's not overpowering. It doesn't taste like if you drink a watermelon Dorado from Ballast Point, their double IPA that tastes like a melted Slurpee Jolly Rancher, it's overkill with how much extract they put in there. That's all I taste. All I taste is Jolly Rancher. But White Claw and Truly, they did it right. And yeah, if you do too much, then you gotta dilute it with more water just to make it drinkable. I'm not opposed to even having a 3% hard seltzer too. I think that's a rad idea. Yeah, this is a really good beer. I don't do rating systems. I don't do Yelp. I don't do Untapped. I don't do more beer. If a beer tastes how it's described, then it's a very good beer, and just leave it at that. You don't need to give it an 89 or a 92 or a 46. It's a Goza, which means it's in a Goza. It's in a Goza. Cracked pepper, coriander, maybe a little bit of dill if you're watching Homebrew for Life videos. It tastes like watermelon, and I taste the tahini. Am I doing this right? Booze Brothers also paid me $1 trillion to showcase that. 56 viewers, man. Good to see all you guys. You do you, Braj, Paper Cut Brewing. What's going on? Who's talking shit right now? Tom, I'll show you a hard seltzer. Cool. Send me some hard seltzers. Yeah, coriander, sea salt. We did the dill pickle beer. That was a great beer. The only thing I would have done differently with that, if I had a brewery, I would sell a dill pickle beer. Some people make it hot, like habanero dill pickle. I'll never understand making beers hot. I do not understand jalapeno pepper beers. What I do understand is I'm obsessed with dill pickles. And when you're pretty much eating a dill pickle, it's mostly the vinegar. Like I'm a vinegar junkie. Like I put mustard on everything. And I hope this recipe Maury's telling me about, this pork chop sous vide thing, can include like some mustard seed marinade or something. I love mustard, and I love that it's not bad for you. But I would do that. The only thing I would do different about that, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, me, Kev, Maury, Donnie, we did a dill pickle Goza, and it was great. But if I were, because I'm a vinegar junkie, so I did it with, I put, I think, a pint of white distilled vinegar into the keg. And if I were to sell it, or if I were to turn it into like a competition, which I never would, I don't like beer competitions. But I mean, I want to go to them, but I don't like the idea of sending my beer into them, because I don't know how good the credibility of the judges are. But back to the point. If I were to sell our dill pickle Goza, I would change up the recipe a little bit. If you go from white distilled yeast to maybe apple cider vinegar, it's mellower, and I would have put probably that into the keg, and it would have been a little less acidic. That was the perfect word I was looking for, and I said it. So I deserve another beer. Pilsner or watermelon tahini? Survey says I'm definitely making a dill pickle beer. It was a great beer. It was a dill pickle Goza. Kev, you want to throw the link in the bio? Can you even do that? John McLaughlin, what up, you Braj? We were hanging out last Wednesday, or a couple Wednesdays ago. He just turned the big 4-0. The intro to the dill pickle beer video was too stupid. Which part? Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. When Kevin and Maury walk in, I'm chugging Vlasic Costco size dill pickle thing. I'm busted. What are you doing? What are you doing, CH? Oh, I'm just worshiping Satan. Drinking pickle juice in the dark. All right, Pilsner City. Any NFL fans in the house? I'm going to talk about this because I don't know what else to talk about. Let me know what your favorite sports teams are. Any Chargers in the house? Chargers fans in the house? Biggest joke team of all time, aside from probably Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars. But it's all good because the Padres were good this year. Padres are good and fun to watch. It just sucks that we got to be in the same division with the fucking Dodgers, you know. $20 million teams versus $40 million teams. You're crazy, man. Trev's got my back. Ben Wilson, Rams fan. Can't say I don't take swigs out of the pickle jar. I love pickle juice, and I love the smell of gasoline, man. Gasoline beer? Gasoline beer. No, I'm going to stop thinking about that right now. We're going to nip that notion right now. Because I was just thinking about that movie with Philip Seymour Hoffman and the guy that plays the Joker. That's called The Master, where they drink like gasoline alcohol and some people die from it. Gasoline beer. We're done with it. Yeah, we're done with it. All right. One more hour before the girlfriend gets home from work. Helia right here. If you guys are new to the Brunchcast, tonight's broadcast, shout out to yourselves. We've got 63 people. We've been here for an hour. Ben Wilson, Rams. Jorge Castro, what's up, you Braj? The Brew Show. I don't know how he's a Packers fan. He did tell me. Former Chargers fan. Yeah, I can't get rid of them. What's Go Birds? Eagles? Seahawks? Falcons? What up, Enzo? What up, you brunch? The first year the Padres are good since Tony Gwynn. You can't watch them live. Pretty much, yeah. Best year the Padres have ever had aside from their 1998 World Series. Check that. They went to the World Series in 1984 too. Yeah, the one time the Padres are good, it's COVID. We can't see them. Surprise, surprise. Life's a trip. Eagles, Philadelphia. I watch any NFL game that's being the only birds. Don't say that to Seahawks fans. What do I think of Herbert? I think he's great. I just think the Chargers are the same as they've always been. We just have bad everything. I'm sorry. We have a bad front office. We have a bad business. I think the Chargers are just a bad business. And I say that like this. I say that like everything starts from up top. Everything starts from your owner and the people that work in the front office, and then your coaching staff and your GM and your quarterback and who you draft. And that's your business. That's your franchise. And the Chargers have a really bad franchise. In the 2004 NFL draft, when the Chargers drafted first round, first overall pick, Eli Manning, and he refused to go to San Diego, and everybody hated him. Everybody in San Diego hated Eli Manning, and his dad had backed him, and his whole family backed him. They were like, "You're not going to go to San Diego. He'll go to any other team except San Diego," and that was like, I guess we went through like Ryan Leaf and stuff like that, and we did have Drew Brees at the time and LaDainian Tomlinson. For whatever reason, his dad and him were like, "We're not going to San Diego." He went to New York, and he won 2 Super Bowls. Let's look back on that. He said, "No, I'm not going to San Diego." won 2 Super Bowls in New York, and we don't even have a fucking team anymore. That was a super smart move by his dad. We don't have a team. We lost our team. And he's got Super Bowl rings. Rings, multiple. Bobby Beathard was smart. He drafted Sayal. That was genius. When players go from, like Rodney Harrison, when he's like, when I went from the Chargers to the Patriots, it was like just a different morale, just a different atmosphere, just a different vibe. Nobody fucked around. Our locker room was more stringent. If you have a Terrell Owens or Des Bryant, Bill Belichick just cuts you fast. He just gets rid of you like that. If you have a guy that doesn't believe, in the team thing and it's more individually, they'll just get rid of you. I don't know, man. I think our quarterback's good. I think I don't even know how the NFL even works anymore, man. Every play there's like a penalty. Every play there's like a pass interference or you hit the guy too hard. Sometimes they throw the flag even if they don't even go helmet to helmet. I would pass every play. I wouldn't even run the ball anymore in today's game. I'd throw the ball downfield more, probably just, pray for pass interference. If there's even remotely anything, slap on the wrist or whatever, they're going to throw a flag. Pretty much do it like the Packers do, shotgun on first down and stuff. Back in the day with Marty Schottenheimer, Chargers, with LaDainian Tomlinson, Drew Brees, and then Phillip Rivers, it was a different football game. You ran it on every first and second down, and on third down you passed. Now it's like Cam Newton does the same thing. It's just shotgun on first down. But here it is. All right, we got some football fans in the house. I'm going to say it. And I'm going to back it up. When people think, let's hear it. Who's the best football team of all time? Everyone says the 85 Bears. Everybody says the 72 Dolphins. I think they were undefeated. Trivia question. Nobody Googled this. I'm going to know if you Googled this. The 1985 Bears were 15-1. Who was the one team that beat them? I'll give you a hint. It was a Hall of Fame quarterback in the AFC that never won a Super Bowl. Let's hear it, dog. Let's hear it, you Braj. Let me check my MySpace. Of course, Maury. Maury's the guy that doesn't answer the phone call, but then texts you. Who the hell is this? I can't look at this right now. Rad, AT&T, we're going to shut your power off. Dolphins, Rhett's the Barrage. Besides LT and Sale, who's my favorite Charger? Probably, I met a lot of Chargers. Besides LT, who's my favorite Charger? Probably Gates, Antonio Gates or Rivers. I met Jammer. He was cool as hell. I met Quentin Jammer a couple of years ago at Costco over here off Palomar Port Road, and we had some laughs, and it was cool. Dan Marino, yeah, that's good trivia. Here's another trivia that will win you $100 in a bar every time. When you hear people talking sports at a bar, sports bar, diehard, super fans, Bill Schwartzky super fans, go up to them and mention at one time, start talking about how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in the AFC West. And someone's going to be like, no, they weren't. They were never in the AFC West. Like, yeah, you don't remember those years? Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in the AFC West. That's a true story. And then when they get all riled up, be like, I'll bet you $100. I'll bet you your bar tab. And then Google it. And 1 year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tampa Bay, Florida, as far as you can go in the nation, was in the AFC. Now they're NFC South, but they were in the AFC West for 1 year, and you'll win $100. And then you're going to owe me a beer. I'll tell you what year right now. Nobody knows that. It's great sports beer betting. But we're still going to talk about the best sports team of all time. I'm going to tell you why. I'll just want to tell you what year really fast. 1976. AFC West. Yeah, that's a good way to win $100 or $20. But here it is. Drum roll, please. Okay, here we go, Chris. 90s Bills are the best team of all time. Ben Wilson, why are you laughing at Jammer like that? The early 2000 Rams teams were legit. Those get Dre Bly and Dexter McCleon and London Fletcher and why aren't I naming any of the good players? Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. All right, but here it is. I'm gonna hear some crickets. I know I'm gonna hear some crickets. Trevor's from Australia. He doesn't know what good sports are. He likes cricket and rugby. Best football team of all time. The 1994 49ers. This is what I love about the broadcast. Nobody gets to argue with me. If I said this last night, my friends would bomb on me. And I'm going to tell you why. The 1994 49ers. Because they won the Super Bowl. They crushed the Chargers 49-26. And they crushed the Chargers in the regular season. They crushed the Chargers both times. We're talking the 94 San Francisco 49ers. We're talking Steve Young, Ricky Watters, Jerry Rice, J.J. Stokes, William Floyd. On defense, you have Deion Sanders, Dana Stubblefield, Bryant Young, Ken Norton Jr., Merton Hanks. If you look at the NFL, the AFC was a joke up until John Elway. Like, if you look at who won the Super Bowl, the NFC teams won it 15 years in a row, dating back from the Joe Montana era. Like 1984 up until the Broncos beat the Packers. Sorry, Brucho. AFC teams were winning and they were crushing. There was only two good we're talking 15 years of Super Bowls. There was only two good Super Bowls in there. There was one where the Bills lost to the Giants 19-20, and there was one where the Bengals lost to the 49ers. That was a good game with Boomer Esiason playing Joe Montana. Every other Super Bowl was a blowout. Who's talking shit? The Cowboys would beat the Bills 55-10, crush the Steelers, smoke everybody by 20. The 49ers beat the Chargers. The spread was like 17 points, and they still covered. You have 17 points. You have a 17-point head start, and they still covered. And what I'm trying to say is that whoever won the NFC championship pretty much won the Super Bowl at that time. Like, you're talking in the 80s, it was all the Giants with LT and Parcells and Bill Belichick. And I think the Redskins were pretty good. But they were just beating the shit out of every AFC team. Just crushing the shit out of them. That's why Dan Marino probably never had a Super Bowl. That's why Dan Marino doesn't have a Super Bowl. It's because the NFC teams were too good. And in the 94 season, back to what I'm talking about, it always came down to the Cowboys or the 49ers. That was it. So the Cowboys won 2 in a row. They beat the Bills. And then I would imagine they played the 49ers in those NFC championship games. And then they played the 49ers in 94. And I think the game was 38-28. The 49ers beat them up pretty good. But whoever won that NFC Championship game, that was the Super Bowl. It's like, come on, man. The 49ers, they just beat the Cowboys, back-to-back champions. Now we got to play the Chargers. They're probably not even thinking about this game. They're probably thinking about, what titty bar they're going to stay in Hawaii at the Pro Bowl because the whole fucking team's probably going to be there. But if you look at that schedule in 94, I think they were 13-3. I think one of the games, the Eagles beat them straight up that year. And then they sat their last players the last couple of weeks or something. But the Eagles were the one team to beat them. And that was a legitimate loss in the early part of the season. But they beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl 49-26, and they beat them in the regular season. So that means you beat the AFC Championship twice. You beat the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game by 10, and you beat them in the regular season too. I'm talking about you are the best team of all time based off strength of schedule. You legitimately beat the Cowboys twice, who just came off, destroying the Bills in the last couple Super Bowls, and then the Chargers, who were the AFC Championship, but ultimately for the NFC, that was a walk in the park. And whoever made it in the NFC playoffs that year was probably going to beat the shit out of the Chargers. Dallas would have crushed them. Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Daryl Johnston, Jay Novacek. It would have been a dumb game to watch. So that's that. Best football team of all time. Since I've been alive and been able to watch football teams. What do you guys think about that? The 98 Vikings were pretty good. They were really good. They just couldn't make a field goal. They had some Nate Kading shit. Super Bowl 32. You know what's funny about that is, so John Elway brought the AFC back and they beat the Packers. And I believe that Super Bowl was in San Diego. And if you look up the spread on that, the Broncos were huge underdogs. Like 12 or maybe 14 points. That's a lot of points in the NFL. And the Broncos beat them. That was the famous helicopter play. John Elway on third or fourth down. 38-year-old dude just running with it, getting rocked. Give credit where credit's due. I grew up hating the Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos, but you gotta call a spade a spade. And then the Broncos went on to win it again. They crushed the Falcons, Jamal Anderson, Dirty Bird. And then from then on, the Rams had a couple, season here that was okay. And then it was just like the Tom Brady era, and the AFC was back. And it was Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Roethlisberger, Steelers, Mike Tomlin. The Buccaneers had a good year in there with their coach, Chucky, what's his name, on the Raiders head coach. But the team was just stacked. It was the best defense of all time. You didn't even really need to have a star quarterback on that team. That Buccaneers defense had Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks. What's the brother? Who are the two twin brothers? Rondé Barber, Simeon Rice, Chris Hogan. But that's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to that. The 94 San Francisco 49ers were the best team of all time. John Gruden proved me wrong. And that's it. That's all I got for the broadcast. You guys want to keep it going? I just cracked this beer. It's a full beer. That's good trivia from Rhett. Brad Johnson, worst Super Bowl winning quarterback ever. Yeah, when you don't know who the quarterback is of a Super Bowl winning team, you probably weren't that good. But hey, John Gruden, when your defense is that good, ultimately, and you have Mike Allstott and Warwick Dunn, and I think you have Keenan McCardell and Keyshawn Johnson at receiver. Just don't throw interceptions. Just be as conservative as possible. The defense is going to get a ton of 3-and-outs. The refs at that time didn't call too many penalties, and the defense is probably going to score one touchdown a game on a fumble recovery for a touchdown or a pick six. All you have to do is just be average. All you have to do is not fuck up. Hand the ball off. Throw it on third down. Give it to Mike Allstott. Give it to Warwick Dunn. John Gruden won with somebody else's team. That's exactly right. That was Tony Dungy's team that Tony put together. And John Lynch, forgot about him. Dilfer was very bad too. That's very comparable to the 2000 Ravens team. That's very comparable because you're talking the Ravens defense. You've got Chris McAllister, obviously Ray Lewis, Peter Boulware. I think there was a linebacker that was named Sharper, Tony Saragusa. But they also had Jamal Lewis. He was a very brutal runner. He was a great football player. I love watching Jamal Lewis run the ball. Rasmus, what's going on? Well, technically, Ben Roethlisberger is the worst. He had the worst QB rating. Ben Roethlisberger came in when Tommy Maddox got rocked by Keith Bullock. For the record, I could talk about beer, video games, and football forever. I have a weird memory that, I don't know. My girlfriend tells me to do the dishes or clean the kitchen. I say yes, and then it just goes straight out of my ear. But I can remember shit from like 20 years ago. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That's the Braj right there. What's up, Nick? I'm going to put a sweatshirt on, and while I do that, we're going to hit the... Mandatory beer Tommy Maddox. What up, Austin? Everybody, welcome Austin to the chat. Let's jump his ass in, man. Members only. No, I'm just kidding, Braj. Yeah, a couple broadcast updates. We're obviously still figuring this out. I was talking to Kevin earlier. We're talking about this broadcasting thing. Completely different from traditional homebrew for life, film edit, film right edit. I don't know who was here last week when we tried to do 2 cameras and we switched to it and it just kicked us all off. Broadcasting, there's always delays. I've got 2 Elgato capture cards. I've got a PC over here. Everything we plug in is going to be like a second off, 1 second off delay. It's not like you can know about cameras and video equipment and full frame and frames per second, all this stuff. It doesn't matter. You need to know Streamlabs OBS. You need to know this program and know how to change this shit on the fly where it's like delays or echoes or loops or something. So what up, Enzo? So I'm going to figure it out, and hopefully we get to the point with the broadcast where it's an actual like show, not show, but like, hey, if this guy's talking, a camera switches to him, or if this guy's talking, it goes back, or if there's 3 people there, there's a shot of like everybody on the couches and the audio sounds good. And if there is a delay, Kevin, Babs, myself, somebody knows how to like fit it in on the fly or something. But this is no joke. I mean, it's legitimately, I don't know if Cable's still with us, but he was sending me pictures. There was a dude that does broadcasting for a living, like Monday Night Football, where it's like cut to that camera. That's got to be the perfect shot. The audio's got to match the video. Cut to that one, now it's slow motion, and pan it out. Like, you don't think about these things till you do it, as you shouldn't. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Ultimately, I just have to get better at Twitch. Twitch is pretty much just, broadcasting on like the smallest of scales. But I want to get to the point where we could just go hit a button, go to that camera, hit a button, go to that camera. And we talked about this last video. I don't know if anybody watches this stuff. I mean, I know the same stuff, but I feel like I just say the same shit over and over and over and over. But I feel like the best course for this whole broadcast thing is that somebody comes on and does the Spotify broadcast, maybe Wednesday, and then they come back over and they're sitting here with me, or we're out in a living room, or, maybe one day we have a Joe Rogan studio, which we won't, but that would be cool. And people could hear somebody's beer story or whatever, listen to the podcast, and then probably want to, ask questions and hear about, Ryan from Battle Mage, or this guy from this, or whatever. So that's kind of the idea. Cable, what's up? Cable the Barrage is still right there. Cable's got some killer pictures, man. This guy does, you watch, it was a rodeo, but you know, when you get like those monster trucks in a stadium and, there's just probably, 100 cameras and stuff like that. You got to know which ones to switch to and how to create shit on the fly, audio delays, and all I know is you can't speed anything up. Like if I put an Elgato capture card, which ultimately, I can run a camera or console, like I could play PlayStation or Nintendo 64 through my computer through a capture card. More often than not, it's going to be an Elgato. It's like a 1 second delay. And then from there, you have to slow everything down a second. So if something is like right on time, you have to slow that now. You have to slow that down. So delays are very common. Delays are a very common thing. Greetings from Denmark, 5 a.m. Cable Hogan, broadcast engineer, broadcast engineer. Shout out to Rasmus Ellegard. Apologies if I'm botching your name, but I like your name. I think your name should be the title of a beer. Rasmus Ellegard Triple IPA. No? Let me know in the comment section. Link in bio. My friends all make fun of me. They call me Link in bio. Who's talking shit? A couple guys late to the Instagram table. It's all good. We pretty much got up and running pretty good today. 6 o'clock, 6:05. I gotta get better at promoting this and making like a flash page, at 5:50. Like, get your beer. We're gonna be on in a second. Or Cable, get your LaCroix and quadruple IPA. And we'll get it going. But we talked about it last time, Donovan and I think Brew Mill Tony. We were talking about like this is like the 10% of like the people that actually want to talk about beer, even though we're talking about the 1994 San Francisco 49ers. There's always, I don't even know what the hell the deal with the Instagram Homebrew for Life is. I just feel like it's like my sister and cousins and all these people that know me in real life doing all this weird off the wall goofy shit, just smashing beers over our heads and stuff. But I feel the Barrage Cast, like this is beer. This is the 10%. I think Donovan came up with that, or Greg Winters. We were talking about like this is the 10% of we could just talk beer. We could just talk about this yeast. If I do that, if we start making these cooking videos on Homebrew for Life, and then we have like a nerdy beer video, we just talk about, water chemistry or add in, calcium carbonate to a mash or something. It's like we lose that cooking channel or the people that want to watch the blind taste contest stuff. But this is the 10%. And I think I just said it. I could talk about beer, video games, and football and the 1994 San Francisco Chargers all day. Better every time. That's all you can ask for. I think it is getting better every time. I thought me and Trevor had it last Wednesday. And of course, I don't know why we didn't. I have a mixer or a mixer recorder, and we had two XLRs going into it. I don't know why people weren't picking up Trevor's mic, but I'll have that figured out soon because I generally have a better time when there's somebody here and we could just shoot the shit, and that's fun, but their mics have to work. So, Brew Show, are we in for Saturday? We could do the broadcast, and you can come down if you want to. You're always welcome, you Braj. You and your wife, Rachel. Later, Chris. Beer chili recipe on Homebrew for Life. I want to do more crockpot stuff. Crockpots don't get enough love, and they're really easy to do. We did a Homebrew for Life one a couple of years ago. It was Kev, what did we do? St. Patrick's Day. And you legitimately just put your meat in a crock pot, go to work, come back, and it's like the perfect stew. And we don't do it for whatever reason. Yeah, you got it. Let me see what the schedule's like. Right on, Braj. Any teasers, or can you drop anything, Trent, of what the video you're working on, or the next upload, or are you keeping that to the chest? Because I understand if you are. Because if I said like our next video we're doing a video about how we're all going to go sober and quit the channel, I'm just kidding, but people on that might not want to watch. St. Patty's Day, we got drunk and it was awesome. Yeah, it was like the porter one from Culver, back before I even went to Culver. Corned beef. Yeah, Maddo. That was fun. See, like in 2021, the channel is going to get more cooking oriented and maybe a 1 grain of glass video a week. But this broadcast will always be here. Rain or shine, dead or alive, COVID or not COVID, my shitty face will be here Wednesday night, whether it's me or somebody else, or me with somebody else, or we've got an actual production thing set up where we could actually do like a Howard Stern studio show. But since I had a hard time paying rent this month, that's probably not going to happen for a while. But I was at Culver today and they were like, yeah, we should do, they're embracing getting shut down for 3 weeks. That's kind of the California thing. I think Newsom's going to drop a bomb and shut everything down. I don't know. I thought everything was shut down. But we're going to get more shut down. How do you shut down? And they were talking about how we should do the broadcast at Culver at their bar. And I was saying that's a good idea if I don't have to deal with any of the setting up and connecting it and making sure it runs right. I just want to get to the day where I can just sit here and it's just all turnkey. But I don't know. I don't know if the Culver guys wanted to do that just because it's kind of like a fuck you, or, you know, we're still all going to be here and hanging out. But they wanted to do it at their own establishment during a shutdown. And I think it's rad. I mean, I like the idea. I don't have a job, or if I say anything, I need to apologize. Like all these fucking idiots that have to apologize now. Every time I go on YouTube, there's like Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon or somebody apologizing. It's like, what? For what? For what? Why is everybody apologizing? I don't know. Maybe they have a lot more to lose than I do. Everybody has more to lose than I do. Roswell, so glad I don't live in California. It's really tough being a business owner in California. It is a very tough. It was a tough place even before COVID. From a alcohol standpoint, from a construction standpoint, we require the most permits. We require the most hidden fees. I worked with a guy that was just moved to Texas recently. He's like, I didn't have to deal with anything. The general contracting stuff was like that easy. I don't have to give somebody $1,000 to pass a test or do anything. I just think that maybe everybody thinks everybody in California has all this money and this unlimited amount of money that they could just charge. I have a 25-year-old truck. I have a 1995 Tacoma, and I got my car registration the other day, and it was like $150. $150. I don't even know if my car's worth $150. I have a friend whose dad just moved to Arizona, and he gets like 3 of his cars registered for like $50. Everyone says California's broke. There's 40 million people to live here. If you're just charging, what is car registration? What is that fee all about? Just to fund the DMV? What the fuck is car registration? $150. My truck. It's out of control. Slow cooker recipe with homebrew. Yeah, I'm with you. Pair food with beer, yeah. Rasmus Ellegard, double IPA. Do you have a Patron tequila or that thing? Or so how do we donate? I think all of us want to keep going. I'll never do a Patreon. I don't like the idea of it. I don't like, I think it's just panhandling for money on the internet. I like the donations. If somebody, I donate to people on Twitch and YouTube all the time. You send them $5, they give you your name. It's cool. But to have like, unless you're doing a Patreon where you have like exclusive content that people are seeing that nobody else on YouTube can see. Like if you wanted to teach a class or a trade or something, or, you know, yeah, like woodshop or hands-on more live day brewing or woodshop or mechanic stuff that you couldn't already see on YouTube. It makes sense to me, but I think there's just a lot of people on Patreon that are just panhandling on the internet. And it gets kind of weird when you stop following a channel and they're still billing your credit card $10 a month. If you do it and you're successful, or it's just an avenue of income, I'm sure that's cool. I just don't have like I just don't have it in me to like do the Patreon or, you know, just ask people for money in spite. If someone's feeling good at the time and they want to donate $5, thank you. That's awesome. I don't know. I just think it's panhandling for internet money. I'm picking my words very wisely right now because I know there's a lot of channels that I watch, brewing channels that do Patreon and stuff. And, I don't know, just puts a weird taste in my mouth for whatever reason. I don't know. I prorated credit card stuff. You know what I do think is cool though, and I do it with a couple channels, is that on YouTube, if I become a member of somebody's channel for $5 and I'm on their chat, I get like a cool little emoji on Twitch and YouTube, and that's cool. Like, yeah, I got like a little trophy next to my name or something. Like, I understand that, but I don't know, man. You look at Patreon and people have these tiers of like, here's $1, here's $5, here's $25, here's $50, here's $100. It's like, who's giving you $100 a month? You know, it's like you have to be like probably like a full blown like pervert or something. I don't know. We do pretty good with the merch store. We do. I don't know if I'm a full-time YouTuber or not, but we do get a lot of love for the merch store. Shout out to the Braj I was just talking about, just getting his shirt, even though I think I sent him that for free for the winning the last week's trivia, who directed Gangs of New York or something. But we do enough from the merch store, the ad revenue. The Amazon links, when I say link in bio and stuff, that's stuff that I vouch for. We get a little piece of the pie of that. It's gas money. It's not paying the rent. It's just paying for gas and beer. But I'm very particular about what I shout out in Homebrew for Life, because I even think if somebody sees it in my garage, they're gonna think that it's vouched for. And I've turned down more. There's always a guy with an invention that wants to like send you something, and it's just like, yeah, it's gonna leak. I could just tell by looking at it, mixing plastic with metal with glass or something. If I vouch for it, it's gonna be on Homebrew for Life. And if I think it's something that people are gonna need, if we're talking about DIY temp control with like an Inkbird or something, then I put the link in bio, because you're actually gonna need that. And I get like 4 cents of that sale. This is Behind the Curtain, man. Behind the Curtain with CH. Yeah. What's up, Zachary? What's up, Zachary Pryor? You Braj? A sup badge. A sup badge. You are a stand-up. Thanks, Pete. Paper cut. Will you guys ever do a live brew day? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because that would be the most boring video of all time. That's a good question, but it would be a really bad idea and bad execution, because if we did a live brew day, we're talking about a 6-hour live stream. We introduce ourselves. We talk about what we're brewing today, and then we mash in. And then what do we do for an hour? Just sit. We're going to be cleaning and rearranging the garage and getting shit together. I think with live stream, you have to be either talking the whole time or doing something else. Whether you're playing guitar, or you're playing a video game, or you're DJing, or you're knitting, or you're doing any sort of arts and crafts. But with cooking and brewing, I just think there's just way too much downtime. And one of the biggest pulses is that like I can see your guys' names. I can interact with you guys. I can't do that if I'm brewing or if I'm at work. When I think of like a live stream brew day, I think of like a live stream construction day. Like, hey, today I'm going to like dig holes. Stay tuned. You know, like what? There's just so much downtime. No, but to answer your question, there will never be the thing about Trent came over. I think it was Trent or maybe it was Trevor, but they were like, I can't believe how small your garage is. I have a single car garage where we do everything. I'm in there brewing with 2 cameras set up, 2 tripods. Tripods is what's taking up the space, not the camera. If you add one more person in there, it's going to get really small really fast. If you add another person in there, it's going to get even smaller really fast. If you have 4 people in there, someone's going to trip over a cord. Someone's going to fuck up. Someone's going to knock something over. We're going to forget to shoot this. We're going to start getting too drunk now. Like, to do a live stream, you would have to have, for starters, at least a 2-car garage, like a big studio. You know, you look at these cooking channels and it's like every cooking channel has like the islands. They have the center, right? No one's like, I don't have that. My apartment sucks. It's a shit box. Here comes the girl. Here comes the girl. Yeah, Nick, there you go. Genus did a live brew day. It was so boring. People moving about in the background, loads of empty space. You just answered it. That's exactly why I would never do that. It'd be like, hey, let's do a live stream today. Today we're going to clean my garage or clean the whole house. It's like, okay, now I'm scrubbing and now I'm getting bleach and now, okay. I don't know. Good question. Bad idea. Bad idea. That's success with anything. You need good ideas with good execution. Whether you're trying to do a shitty Homebrew for Life YouTube channel, or you're trying to start your own business, or you're trying to clean your garage, or you're trying to build a guest house, or talk to a girl. That's the key to success. It's good ideas and good execution. That's it. Britta! That's the girl. Let me close the door. Does anybody know anybody that just has friends that have just really bad ideas? You can't have those. You got to have good ideas and good execution. If I do a topless brew day, paper cut, now you're speaking my lingo, man. I just want to show off to everybody how hairy I am. Who's this? Get Bent Brewing. Shout out to anybody that bought merch recently. I'm trying to get everyone's screenshot saved right when somebody sends me a DM or posts on Instagram or Facebook. I screenshot it and I email myself. And I'm trying to give everybody some love. Shout outs feel good. Thank you for supporting, producing the channel. I mean, ultimately, like, your viewers are your boss. Like, you guys are ultimately like the boss of Homebrew for Life, right? Like, people think, you know, this guy, this manager or whatever, he's your boss. He's like, not really. Like, your audience, your viewers are your boss, right? Like, if they weren't watching, we wouldn't do this. Brew Show wouldn't be doing this. Genus wouldn't be doing this, you know? If there's not viewers, right, there's never a Game of Thrones season 2. Ultimately, like, the people that are viewing it are the producers and the boss of it, kind of. I don't know. That's how I always kind of look at it. So when people like view or whatever, click on a link or buy a t-shirt, support the channel in any way, it's like you are the producer of this. You know, when you watch Full House or whatever, you are keeping this going just by watching it. I don't know. That's how my mind works. Portly gentleman on the mic. We were just talking about your crazy idea earlier, dog. What's up, you brunch? Portly gentleman. He's up there with, he's in Ventura. He's a lot closer to the Brew Show than I am. And my mug came yesterday. I got some cool merch from Portly Gentleman. I got a new coffee mug. And I'm going to drink some coffee with it tomorrow while I stare at the mug. I'm going to stare at you in your comic form as I drink coffee tomorrow. Portly, I got your text. I'm going to get back to you. You, Braj, say what up. If anybody in the chat that's still here, looks like we have 45 people here. That was way better than last week. Chug a beer. Give yourselves a round of applause. There's two things I want people to do right now. I want you guys to follow the Brew Show, and I want you guys to follow Portly Gentleman because it's more beer content. And beer content makes the world go round, right? It starts with, we made a video a little bit ago talking about like brew slumps and how to get out of a beer slump, because we all get them, like subscribe to YouTube channels, buy expensive stuff, subscribe to a magazine. I love this magazine, and it's getting better. I should take care of these better. This is a really tough magazine for these guys to do. This is really tough. It's like you have a really good magazine with really good articles talking about restaurants, tasting rooms to go, cooking recipes that I'm going to steal. They rate beers. They do this dumb shit to fill up space. I don't like how people do the whole wine advocate thing, but that's just me. Who the hell am I? I mean, at least it could put a beer on your radar. Deschutes, Brewery, Fresh Haze, Firestone Walker, Citra. This one's a 91, and this one's a 92. Is it even? This one's a 92.4. This one's an 88.6. Beer is art. Art is subjective. There's no right or wrong. Don't treat it like it's I don't know. Some things you judge. Some things I don't think should be judged. Comedy competitions, I think is absolutely ridiculous. Subscribe to the Portly Gentleman. Let me try to pull this up. And subscribe to, I'll pull it up right now. Let's go to the Brew Show. I'm going to put your links. The Brew Show, one word. We got 43 people still here. We got to get the Brew Show up to 1,000. He's got to open up 1,000 subs because then he can actually start selling merch, start doing super chats, start doing, you open up a lot of doors. Where's my shit? Here's Brew Show. Where's Portly? Braj Lord Portly. Brad, I don't know how much you've been watching, man. We just talked like some serious shit about your channel for like 90 minutes, man. I'm kidding, man. I'm just being an idiot. We were actually talking about how our channels are very similar earlier. That's the Brew Show. That's Portly Gentleman, the Portly Braj, and give those guys a subscribe, and it'll be tight. Best homebrew advice: what happened? Best homebrew advice: chill a bunch of water in the fridge the night before, especially if you have a chest freezer with temperature control. I don't like aquarium pumps. I don't like fish heaters and aquarium pumps. But hey, man, if it works for you, it works for you. Homebrew moron. 94 49ers. Nah, I'm Brad. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just kidding with you, you brunch. Homebrewing is good. Back at you. 94 49ers. I think it's the diehards. Tangerine Suncat. That's a great name for a beer. Tangerine Suncat. Bacardi and Coke. Braj Cardi and Coke. MBC4L is my jam. What does that mean? MBC4L? I like it. Lex Steele. Lex just went to the NBC. I like the takeover you Braj just did on Genius Brewing live stream a few weeks ago. I took it over? Who shot him in the what now? Yeah, they do it. Genius does, while we're talking about brew channels, Genius does their live stream Sunday. It's not like this. This is like our happy hour. This is when we get off work and we want to talk shit about our coworkers and our traffic commutes and how fucking dumb our assistant shift manager bosses are. But they do more. I mean, Genius is Genius. They're just going to be talking about recipe development and grain to glass, and it's a very good channel in that regard. It's the best channel on YouTube for recipe development. I don't even know half the shit they're talking about. All their Belgian yeast and whatever hops and ways to talk about this yeast versus that yeast. That shit bores me to death. It doesn't bore me to death, but like to me, like Belgian yeast is Belgian yeast. Like it all is just banana-y. I don't really need to like dive too deep into it. But they are better brewers than me, probably because they're more patient than me. And I'm just trying to make everything for $3. That's Homebrew for Life. How do I make this iPhone for $3? How do I make this for free? How do I what is this? The spinning valve. $60 on the internet. How do I make it for $20 myself? That's Homebrew for Life. And then mandatory beer chugs. NBC. Yeah, Trev picked up some. Yeah, Genius is they're smart as hell. They probably brew more than anybody I know. I mean, they're a brewery, so they're consistently brewing. They're brewing more than all of us. They're brewing more than any hobbyist. It's impossible to brew as much as them because it's their job. And it's I mean, you could talk about like, two-row versus Maris Otter all day, but like I'm more focused on like the innovations in brewing, like the Lutra yeast or the Kvike yeast or Philly sour yeast or something like that. I don't think there's like a right or a wrong, really, the way you could talk about recipe development. I mean, of course there's obviously do's and don'ts, but when you're kind of like nitpicking beer recipe stuff, that much, anybody, I'm not talking about Genius at this point. I'm talking about guys talking about, I don't know, like barrels, how to kettles, barrel age stuff versus a bourbon barrel versus a whiskey barrel. It's like, I don't fucking know, man. Nor do I pretend to know or care. I think it's cool. I think it's super cool. I think it's super cool if you, barrel age stuff in, whiskey, mezcal or tequila barrels or something. But that's not going to like make or break your beer menu or your brewery or something like that. Am I talking shit right now? I don't know if I'm talking shit right now. I'm just saying, recipe development, that's your channel all the way. Tom's back. We still drinking? Does a one-legged duck swim in circles? But no, it's just like what we talked about earlier. We're talking about the Portly Gentleman is more kind of on page with like a Homebrew for Life, DIY stuff, do it yourself, save money, short-circuited. It's more like very expensive brew systems, very expensive pressure transfers, stainless steel, pumps, 5+ gallons. Genius is more recipe development. Willet beer. You can make beer out of anything. Everything has sugar, corn or cane or cereal. I like that Willet beer stuff. Flora Brewing, I think it's more just grain to glass. I think. Yeah, we're just all a little bit different in our own ways. Trevor, like we're literally going to do the fridge menu chalkboard, like the two things that you dropped off at my house, where it's like we have to make our refrigerator or kegrators turn into chalkboards, which I do not know how to do because I've never done it. Lex Steele. We got a new Braj in here. Zach High School. What up, Braj? Welcome to the Brajcast. Cheers, fellas. Olive Nation. Peppermint extract. What do you do with peppermint extract? I like the idea of that. Stout, porter, pastry stout. Brown ale? Brown ale? Peppermint brown ale? I'd way rather drink a peppermint beer than jalapeno habanero beer. Way rather. Maybe there's, Trev, maybe eggnog? Eggnog beer? Eggnog IPA? Suvet? We're getting crazy now. Now we're just getting crazy. Was it born with one leg? Was what born with one leg? NBC? I haven't had to go to the bathroom yet. I have not had to break the seal. Sorry. Peppermint White Stout. That's going to be the name of my new band. Peppermint White Stout. Delonius, did you get your t-shirt? Braj McDelonius? Peppermint White Stout. I mean, if you could do white chocolate, why can't you do white beer? Candy cane IPA? Yeah, I'd be into that. Trev, I think Tom's onto it. I think he's got it figured out. Candy cane IPA, which would be what? Just peppermint? And maybe nutmeg or cinnamon? No, I would just keep it peppermint. I would just put an ounce of peppermint extract into just do a West Coast clean IPA. Nothing. I don't know. Would you want it to be like hazy, or would you want it just to be like Coors Light looking? Braj, you should look into using a sous vide immersion circulator. I don't even know what the hell that says. Immersion circulator to hold warm fermentation temps instead of the tub. It's worked wonder on my first 2 beers. Yeah, I did the DIY temperature wrong for the Lutra. I do have the cocaine IPA. Now Papercut's talking. Now he's making some sense. Yeah, Tom, peppermint only. I just did the DIY temperature wrong with the Kvaik Lutra used for the hard seltzer. I would have done it, just wrap those dangerous little shitty little firm wrap blanket things, put it in the chest freezer, and set it to 85 or 87. Keep it in between 85 and 90 for Kvaik yeast. But I thought that Lutra yeast would be like the White Labs yeast and ferment in like 1 day or 2 days, but it wasn't hitting gravity. It was, I shorted myself on that batch because I don't know if you guys watched the video or who hasn't watched the video, but there's a lot more sugar in cane sugar than there is dextrose. Like if you have 1 pound of cane sugar and 1 pound of corn sugar, which is dextrose, you're going to get a higher gravity from the cane sugar. And I did not know that until I made this video. So, just had a hard time with the length of the fermentation. I didn't know it was going to take 4 days or 5 days. It took pretty much all week, but, it's all good. Just wasted a lot of water. As long as we're not out there in Australia, I guess we're good. Does a one-legged dog, yeah, you said that. Does a one-legged dog swim in circle? Rasmus, where are you from? Belgium? Martin House out in Texas just did a Christmas tree cake beer. Christmas tree cake beer. I'm going to guess that it was Christmas tree. Well, I mean, you're going to get the pine taste just from alpha acid, just from hops. Christmas tree cake. I don't even know how to think of that, let alone think of how it's supposed to taste. Denmark. Ben Wilson, Maris, 2 different crystal malts, chocolate malt. Denmark. Nice, man. Well, thanks for being with us, man. Cheers to you. Are you the only Braj in here that's outside of the States? Anybody else? Shout out to you guys. We got 40 people watching. I'm going to thumbs up this video. I guess if you thumbs up it, more people are going to watch it. I don't know. But this is Steve's Hideout, man. This is the only Cool Kids Club. I don't want anybody else seeing this. If you're not here right now, if we don't know you, we don't want to fucking know you. No, I'm just kidding. always being an idiot. Little Debbie cakes. Cream? Pastry puff? Kev, are you still with me? Photo Kevy? You know who did a really good beer was Booze Brothers. They did a what's the best beer from Booze Brothers? Booze Brothers did a like apple custard beer or something. It was really good. It was a really good beer. What's the best beer from Booze Brothers? That's obviously very subjective. I would say that their number one selling beer is 1-800 Tropics Hazy IPA. It's a great beer. It's a really good beer. Booze Brothers pretty much has two brands. Kev, what was Booze Brothers beer? They did custard pie or something. That's a pretty good answer to answer Booze Brothers' question. Tropics and watermelon tahini. That's tough to debate. What's Booze Brothers' best beer? Tropics is probably their number one seller. The West Coast IPA would be Buena Vista. Kettle Sour. I'm a Trevor. I'd go watermelon tahini. Yeah, Buena Vista. That's their clean West Coast traditional 7% IPA. Just staple of an IPA. Penny Blondes on their lighter side. That's kind of like their, if people come in there like, hey, I want to drink Coors Light or something, throw them in the Penny Blonde direction. Good question from Greg Winters. Will the haze craze ever fade? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, let's talk about what's the most popular style of beer. I'd imagine it's still of craft beer. I'd imagine that would be a good question. I need to get Mike or a brewery owner on. It's like, what's your number one selling beer? I would think it's West Coast IPAs. And then I would think number 2 would be hazies. Number 3 would be Pilsner or Kettle Sour. Number 4 would be brown or something seasonal. But I still think West Coast IPAs are the most popular, and I think that. But then here we go. Like, where do hard seltzers fit in with that? I mean, are people going to tasting rooms and just crushing craft seltzers? Yeah, haze is here to stay. Haze till I die. I'm with both you guys. I just transferred a less hoppy version of the Homebrew for Life Kavik Hazers into secondary. Cranberry puree. Right on, man. Don't use real fruit a lot of those times. I get a lot of stuck dip tubes when I do not go the puree route. Culver has a great Killer American Lager. Dude, I don't even know Culver's menu. Every time I go there, I just get their Kettle Sours. Purple Church. It's the name of a local strip club. Purple Church or Schutzbra. Guava Kettle Sour. And he doesn't do it. He does the Kettle Sour the different way. He doesn't do lactobacillus. He does it like the longer way where you just keep adding pills and malt. I got a better question. Or another question. What style of beer could be gone tomorrow and nobody would notice? Probably Belgians. Ambers? When was the last time you bought a 6-pack of Amber? Yeah. If not puree, then like amaretti concentrates. Kind of the same thing. Amaretti, it's like it's flash frozen fruit. It's the same kind of gist. It's not real fruit, but it's not extract. Scotch ales. What's a Scotch ale? Yeah, to answer Ben's question, there's like 3-4 different ways to make kettle sours. You could keep just adding Pilsner malt to the mash to make it more and more acidic. It takes like 3 or 4 times. 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 days longer than you would do it just with lactobacillus bringing the pH down. Smoked beers, I'm with you. Smoked beers, I'm with you. Yeah, I don't see too many people. Yeah, I think blonde's kind of a thing of the past. The thing about blonde is it's like at this point you're probably just going to get a pilsner, right? A blonde is just a base beer. It's like the base craft beer. I've always said it's just a cheese pizza. It's an omelet with just eggs. It's your canvas. And if you're drinking it, it's probably because you don't like hops or you don't like hoppy beers or IPAs. So at that route or rate, you're probably, and the way that I would say pretty close to every brewery, not every, but like 4 out of 5, probably 80% of breweries have a pilsner. And instead of getting that cream ale now, you'd probably just get that pilsner, that Czech style, or even lighter. You want to go Mexican style. Not Vienna lager. Vienna lager's, in my mind, it's not a lager. It's not a pilsner. It's more like a brown ale to me. But what I want to do is I want to do a dark lager. There's a good recipe in here. The magazine we're talking about, dark lager. You can add chocolate malt to your lager, and you could get the beer that me and Trent did for what video was that? That was a rad video. Those things were delicious. Pretzel bites. No. Bratwurst dogs. Those were phenomenal. And we did a Schwartz beer. I know I'm botching it. I know I'm saying it wrong. Pilsner made with Kolsch's. Dude, do a Pilsner and do that Lutra yeast. That's what's on my radar. Have I ever been interested in the Philly sour yeast? I'm very interested in Philly sour yeast, but that's going to be one of the next Grain to Glass Homebrew for Life videos. It's I don't know why, like I haven't done the Philly sour yeast yet. I bought it, I have it. Maybe it's just because like it's not really kettle sour season. I don't know. Maybe it's not that it's hard seltzer season. We did 4 of those last week. Pretzel dogs. What do we got here? But yeah, got the Philly sour yeast. That's a huge innovation in brewing. There's not too many innovations in brewing. And so far this year, there's been a bunch. What have the innovations in brewing been this year? We have Kvike yeast. We have, there's a lot of, if pressure transferring is your thing, there's a lot of new home brewing inventions that came out. I don't like the idea of it because we drink our beer too fast and I'm a cheapskate. I mean, I'm kind of a cheapskate. I'll still go to the bar and spend $160, but I'm not going to buy a $500 fermenter. But kettle sours, Kvike yeast. I mean, I remember back in the day when people were doing barrel-aged sours and they were selling bottles of it for like $20. I remember that like it was yesterday, but if I think about it, that was probably like 5 years ago. Like you go to your local homebrew shop and you get like a cuvee or not a cuvee, a Flanders. You get like a Flanders or something, and you look at the bottle. It's apricot Flanders. It's like $25. Different times. Who got their hand in the kettle sour game besides Booze Brothers, besides Al Farm? Not too many. I mean, there's breweries that have them on tap and stuff. Culver has a couple on tap. But as far as the distribution game, it's a weird thing to can because low acidity doesn't like metal. You got to almost kind of put it in a bottle. All the ones I see from Europe are always in bottles. They're never going to be in a can. I don't know. What are you guys talking about? Let me eavesdrop. Ben Wilson, what are you guys talking about? That's a big reason why he uses it. Long Beach Beer Lab. What are we talking about? Yeah, I mean, there's just better. It's just easier to brew beer now. You know, back in the day, it was like all these wives' tales of like, it's got to be glass. You got to ferment for 2 weeks. I don't think I've ever fermented anything for 2 weeks in the last like 3 years. Like that's what we always did when we first started brewing. Ferment for 2 weeks. I don't think anybody honestly ferments for 2 weeks unless you're doing a barley wine or an imperial or anything over 10%. But there's Britta. Everything's just better. Everything's just faster. Wild Barrel. I was just there. Check it out. My cousin bought me this hat. You see it? Tom, good call on that. Their sours are great. And I was just there. Wild Barrel, Tom, I don't know if you've been there or not, but it's a brewery. They've got an axe throwing station and they've got batting cages. So we were hanging out with the family on Saturday and the kids get to hit batting practice or throw axes and parents get to hang out and drink beers. I didn't like this is Homebrew for Life, or this is the broadcast. We keep it real. I did not like their IPAs. It was way too muddy. Is that a word to describe beer? They were just muddy. It was just kind of like too thick, and they weren't crisp. But their kettle sours were phenomenal, and they've got like 40 beers on draft that they all brew. I don't know if people like that. I'm still kind of like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you have 40 beers and you just got people coming up and just asking all these dumb questions, and it's like you've got 3 cranberry sours, but one of them's mixed with kiwi and this one's mixed with passion fruit. It's just like, can I try them all? Can I get a taster of each? I don't know if I like that idea, but the ones that I did order, maybe I was just guessing right, or they're all good, but they were phenomenal. That was a good call. Wild Barrel only has good sours in my opinion. I'm with you, man. I'm definitely with you. We should go there. We should all go there on like Saturday. Just get all wasted and throw some axes. Thought on Drecker smoothies. I don't know what that is. Smoothie beer. I liked it last year, but I'm done drinking lactose in my beers. I don't want to have to take a shit at a bar. And the one that we made the sour hazy milkshake IPA, and it was delicious, but it was expensive, and it just made me want to shit my pants in front of hot chicks at the first day of school. And I don't like that. I don't like those situations. But yeah, Wild Barrel. I haven't seen their stuff in I haven't seen Wild Barrel in distribution. I've never seen them on draft. I've never seen them in a can or a bottle. I don't know if that's... They did have a fridge there that was selling 4-packs to go. And they do have a canning line, which is huge because, you know, they cost about $100,000. But lactose only belongs in milk stouts? Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't really even drink stouts all that often. But put that on your radar. If you guys are in San Diego, especially North County, White Barrel. Barrels? White Barrel? Yeah, my cousin bought me this hat. I like this hat. It's got a patch on it. It's cool shit. If shitting your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. Something tells me that was a movie called Billy Madison. That was a good scene. That was actually with Norm Macdonald and Chris Farley. Okay, so Ben's seen Wild Barrel at bottle shops in Long Beach. Give it a go. To all you guys up there in South Los Angeles County, give it a go. A lot of Wild Barrel down in Tierra Santa and cans. Okay, joke's on me. I just haven't seen them. I don't go to liquor stores that much. Usually I just go to a brewery and get a 4-pack. I used to go to Texas Wine and Spirits more. That's like the best one. Wild Barrel has great beers, and they were doing good. Wild Barrel has one of those situations where they have a huge parking lot and they fence it off and they put out AstroTurf and everyone's got a tent and a space heater. speaking of that, earlier we were talking earlier, like who's killing it right now, who's making a ton of money in during COVID. We were talking about guns and single-use plastic. What about outdoor space heaters? Right, like in the winter, me and my girlfriend, we can't get air conditioners, which means we should probably be buying them now. But when winter, when COVID, everyone's got to go outside. Everybody pushes you outside, and nobody can get heaters now. And I'm sure that's all backed up. Is this East Mill Creek Brewing? Check that Braj out on Instagram. He's got the gnarliest homebrew setup ever. And I think he told me he hasn't paid, like, he's bought everything kind of secondhand. East Mill Creek. Gorgeous George. He's a Braj. What's the correct amount of lactose for a milk stout? I do all my secondary stuff in the keg. Shit, I don't know, man. A cup. I don't know. If you want a lot of it, maybe a pint. I love North Park Brewing. I love McKellar. I had an Other Half collab. I don't know what Other Half is. I mean, I've had a bell pepper beer before. I just don't like the idea of it. But that's rad. That's good news that you guys are letting me know that Wild Barrel's working their distribution game and getting their sours out there, because it's really good beer. It's really good kettle sour beer, and it's affordable. It's local. It's the dude, Dr. Bill. It's the guy that was, I think, he was the head brewer. He's not a doctor. He calls himself Dr. Bill. He's a nurse, like Ben Stiller, Gaylord Fokker. No, I have no idea. But he ran the kettle sour department at Stone or something. That was kind of his credibility. He worked at Stone forever, and then he went over to Wild Barrel, put the money together, and runs the number one kettle sour beer factory. It's kind of far though. Like when I'm on the 78, it's like I hit Culver first, and then I try to hit my girlfriend's work first, and then hit like Boost Brothers or Battle Mage. Wild Barrel's kind of out there a little bit more towards Escondido. Little bit out there, yeah, off like kind of by the cowshed, or yeah, it's past Rancho Santa Fe Road, and I think it's off Woodland and Barham exit. But I recommend it if you guys are coming down here and you're looking for kettle sours. Barrage it out at Wild Barrel. You guys want to do one more beer, NBC, or what? Can you milk me, Greg? You can milk anything with nipples. I have nipples, Greg. That movie was so good. Yeah, geniuses pick green, but you didn't pick it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly how it sounds. F-O-C-K-E-R. Barham, San Marcos. Yeah, like right at the end of San Marcos. Kevin, where do you live these days? 2 more Braj. NBC. All right, man. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's here right now. We've got 38 viewers. This is way better than last week. It's always good seeing all you guys. Rasmus, Homebrew Moron, Tom's always the Braj, Ben. I think we lost Tom McLaughlin. Papercut's always here. He's being a brunch. Trent, Brad, I think he dipped out. Some people are into this, some people aren't. That's why we kept it separate. And I just think it's rad that there's one person here. Last 10 minutes of the boil. I love how you guys are doing it. I think this is the best production one because I think the chat looks good. I can see everyone's stuff. Your screen names are showing up. Photo Kevy, Hop Highway, Homebrew Moron, 2 more Braj, Tom Alvarado, NBC. Does anybody think dive breweries will ever catch on? I don't know what a dive brewery is. To me, they're all just neighborhood breweries at this point. Martin Weber. What up, you Braj? Roswell's. I know. I'm with Rhett. I love hearing the brew chat too. Rhett Sadlin. Rhett, did I send you a t-shirt? Do I feel like I fucked something up? We did a trivia. We'll do... The bummer about 2 weeks ago's trivia is that I'm like, hey, I got like an XL shirt. We're going to do some movie trivia, some pop culture stuff. And then somebody hit me up and be like, hey, I won the t-shirt, but like I'm actually, small or triple XL. And it's like, I don't have a small or triple XL. I'm just giving you like what I had readily available. A dive bar that brews beer. I don't think so. Good. Okay. I'm glad I didn't piss Rhett off. What's up, Portly? He's still here. All right. I broke the seal. God, doesn't it feel like it's midnight? Well, in Rasmus's world, it's probably 8 a.m. This is so much better than watching another episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know what that means, but I think it's a compliment. Thanks, dog. Matto got his. Right on, man. Cheers, Matto. Cheers, you Braj. NBC. We're going to do a real NBC without the edit that I need to work on because it's getting pretty repetitive. Good man. Cheers, Brajes. God, beer tastes good. Excuse me. And if you guys are in the area and you just want to check out a beautiful tasting room, look at Helia. Helia is the only brewery. Kev, you been to Helia? Trev. Helia is the only brewery that actually has like 4 or 5 restrooms. Like you go to most of these breweries and they're trying to make all this money and I'm for people making money and the dollar turning over. But like you go to Bear Roots and Vista and they'll do an anniversary. There's one bathroom. There's one bathroom between men and women and kids. And it could be a nightmare. Like the bathroom line is longer than the beer line. But one of the things I love about Helia is like, you can just go to the bathroom. There's so many bathrooms there. It's like, hey, I'm going out. I'm drinking beer. I'm going to be peeing. I don't want to wait in line. I don't want to wait in 2 lines. If I'm waiting in line, it better be the beer line. Helia has the best bathroom situations possible. And I like how Helia has their, they have a really good fucking brewery. They have a really good layout. They have their bathrooms like in the center of the brewery. And you go to the right, and that's the bar, and the bathroom's in the center, and you can walk around it, and you can look into their brew house and stuff. And I love that. And they put this bar, like this waist-high bar or beer shelf where you could legitimately just hang out there and, try not to be too obnoxious and ask too many questions while people are working, but watch the brew process. Just look at guys and stuff. Most places, like, it's in the back, leave me alone, you can't come back, employees only and stuff like that. And Helia is just like wide open. You can see everything, they except for the cold box and the ladies' restroom. But it's just a really good. If Helia was around 10 years ago, Kelby, I'm sorry if you're listening to this, you are my friend. Slaying it would have been the biggest tasting room in Vista. Downtown Mother Earth included. That was the biggest one. And they're not even there anymore. Sink Pisser. Tom, I'm with you, man. Sink Pisser IPA. Yeah, it's just, I've always said that the number one key to success amongst good ideas and good execution is timing. And these guys opened up. They just had their 2 year. But if they were is around as long as Aztec or Booze Brothers or Belching Beaver or something. This guy's could have been fucking retired or broke. You never know. You never know. Pescadito Mexican lager, 4.8%. I love Helia though. God, their hazy was good today. Hazy J, check them out. Check them out. My next beer, Sink Pisser IPA with Sabro hops. The sun is about to get up in Denmark. Braj. The sun gets up at like 6 a.m. here. I got to feed my stray cats out back. Still need to check out Helia. Ben, where are you from, dude? Helia, Battle Mage, and Culver are like a stone's throw away from each other. That's like what I do. I just go and get a beer at each place. I go to Culver. They have a deli. I get a deli. Kettle sour. I try not to drink IPAs when I go out because I drive and I just, I don't want to be driving around drunk or too buzzed. But I had a hazy with Kelby today. Yeah, Ben, you're Long Beach, bro. Cruise down. I had a hazy with Kelby today, and it was so good. It was so good. I think they have the best lager. I think Helia has the best Mexican lager. Craft Coast has a good one. That's in Oceanside. That was the head brewer of Pizza Port. He started his own brewery. We made a video about it. I made a video about it. That was the weekend that Peter came into town, and the week that Maury got sober and didn't even write me back. But we stuck with the game plan. Show's always got to go on. And we shot the video at Craft Coast, and it's super low, shitty production, but it tells the story. It tells the story of like where they are, where they're located, what they sell. They've got a kitchen, and that's Blake. He's the Braj, and they have a really good Pilsner. And when I say really good Pilsner, I want it to be almost to taste like nothing. I want it to taste like when I drink Coors Light or Bud Light, like I taste rice. I want it to taste like that without the rice. If that makes sense. Bergen and Pizza Port. Bergen's a killer. I was at cool story. I was at Encina's Tap House last night with my old high school friends, with the old Brajes, and we were drinking Bergen hazy to comment on Ben's question. And then we were also drinking this beer right here. They had it in Encinitas, which is about 20 minutes drive south of where I live in Carlsbad. And it's called the Pescadito. Pesca, fish? Dito? Little fish? Is that how I'm putting it together? Is that my life, my hobbies? What up, you brunch? My life, my hobbies? You definitely have a 4-year-old kid's screen name, Instagram, YouTube name. But welcome, you Braj. Yeah, I would say that Bergen has made the most friggin' tablet. CH, how do you know? One at a time. Bergen has great IPAs. I would say Bergen's made the most moves as far as new breweries. Bergen's a place you walk in new and you're like, okay, you guys have investors. I get it, and we could write a book about that. Do you want to work by yourself and not have the problem with employees, investors, or do you want to have deep pockets, but you've got 10 investors breathing down your throat every month, checking your numbers, telling you how to run your own business. Obviously, you're not going to sleep as good at night. But it's funny too, because like some of the breweries I go to, I go to them just because they're neighborhood breweries. Like I had this conversation with a guy last week where we were drinking at Culver, and he's like, I come here every day and I never want them to change. Like I never want them to grow and make more money and take over the world. And I was like, I get it, but it's like you're in business to, grow your brand. I mean, a lot of businesses got the COVID. a lot of businesses are in business, right? You know, just to break even, or, you know, work with what you got. But yeah, I have no problem with my friends' breweries selling out at all. I get it. You know, it's not as homey and or neighborhoody anymore, but live your life, make moves, get your beer to more places, get fucking more people jobs. You know, I mean, people talk about like selling out like it's a bad thing, or being bought out by Budweiser. It's all just kind of different. I mean, I think this is a very good topic and a good debate, but there's, you know, these guys sold out or these guys aren't big anymore, and I get that, and I'm kind of chummy like that, but it's like, you sell out, you retire early, Budweiser buys it, or these guys buy it, and all of a sudden, like, it just created like 500 more jobs for people. It's like, I'm for that. I don't know. I'm for more people getting jobs. I don't know. Everything always goes back to like the Sculpin kind of sellout merger talk. What's up, Panda? Panda, did you get your t-shirt? What up, Braj Lord? Retirement sounds good to me, man. Do you think my Coinstar thing over there is going to be good for 30 years? What are we talking about? Did all those breweries buy into each other, or is it cutthroat? Good question, Kevin and Greg Winters. The San Diego beer scene has a lot of love, and I would consider it more community than I would competition. And I've talked to people from Orange County that they, you know, if you're drowning, they're gonna, you know, stick a hose in your mouth. But San Diego is a little bit different. I know Booze Brothers helps out a lot of breweries. You know, if you need to store something here, if you need a specific grain or hops or something, like, they're gonna help you out. I heard this from a guy from Orange County. He was saying Orange County is a little bit more kind of like the 23-year-old kid whose dad has rich pockets that wants to get into like the brewery game or the hard seltzer game and sell out to Red Bull or Budweiser as fast as you can. And I think there's two types of people that get into beer. I think you get into beer for the beer, or you get into beer for the money, right? Like, if you open up a brewery, I would imagine that you would want your kids working there. You want it to be around for a long time. Or there's people that are like, let's just get as many investors as possible, get as much distribution, exposure, social media as possible, and sell it to the first buyer. Not the first buyer, but like, you know, pretty much do exactly what St. Archer did. Like, St. Archer wasn't around that long. They just put all their chips into like the social media, X Games, pro skater guys. Everyone's got, you know, 1 million followers or whatever. Let's all ask them to be investors. And then within, you know, a couple of years, they sold out, I think, to Budweiser, and that happened. But I think that day is also dead too. I think it's very difficult to sell your company to Budweiser, especially now. I think it's fucking hard to sell out. I think it's really hard to sell out. Yeah, that's what Golden Road did. And Homebrew Morin's exactly right. Like, Golden Road's a good beer. I like their Wolf Pup or their Wolfgang or something. Thanks, Panda. Appreciate that, Brush. Thanks, dog. Send me a picture of you wearing it, and I'll get you in one of the videos, man. I promise. I promise. If you send me a picture wearing a Homebrew for Life t-shirt, that's also the contract that you signed, that I'm allowed to smear it on the internet. That's what Golden Road did. And I would imagine from Budweiser's stance or Constellation stance or Coors Light stance, there's kind of like a ripeness to buying a company, right? Because if they're too big, you're going to have to buy them for more money, right? But if you were like, hey, this brewery is like the number one mom and pop in LA, I would want to buy them right then and there, because Budweiser has all the distribution channels, right? So you're going to get them for the cheapest. Bring them into your factory, or, you know, I think it gets weird when, you know, you fire all the employees or you fire the whatever. I mean, that's from different business to a different business, from business to business. I think every situation is different. But Yeah, I would think that before a brewery really like made moves in the distribution game, I would think you would want to buy them right then, like right then. Like they have the best credibility, good social media, the best graphics. Not best graphics, like graphics that stand out, which can be anything. Like Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger. It's just green and red. But there's enough people, and then I think that's the ripest time to buy a company and then get it in your distribution chains, because as we talk about on this broadcast and stuff, everyone's like, what's the best beer? What's the best recipe? That's subjective. The hardest part of having the best beer isn't making the best beer. It's how do you sell it to 50 states without it going bad, without it sitting on shelves too long and stuff like that. People make this big assumption of like, I'm going to have the perfect recipe. I'm going to have the perfect IPA. Cool. You could win every homebrew competition for your West Coast IPA, the most popular beer in the world. You got to sell it. You got to have distribution chains. That's why I was flipping through this magazine the other day. I was flipping through craft beer. I was actually flipping through this one right here. No, I'm kidding. I was flipping through craft beer. And there's Sierra Nevada's coming out with a new hard kombucha. I believe it's called. Let's see if Berta will come in here. It's called Twisted or I could have sworn I just saw it. But what I'm saying is that Sierra Nevada has their beer in every single store and every single grocery store and every single Chevron gas station that's 6x6. This isn't the magazine. I think it's great. I think it's phenomenal. And that's why people are trying to get in this hard seltzer game, distribution game, and you're already too late to the table, right? Because you're not competing with the best tasting hard seltzer. You're competing with distribution lines. You're competing with channels of shit that Budweiser can get their accounts into that this mom and pop can't. And ultimately, grocery stores, cubic volume determines the market. And that's the bottom line. Metals might get you a quick glimpse here and there. Cubic volume controls distribution chains. I'm sure I've talked about this in the past before too. What up, Zlot Victor Varga? Welcome back. But, back in the day, it was like Bombers, but then Bombers took up too much space, and then it was like 16-ounce cans, and now it's like everyone's doing pretty much what soda does. 6-packs, 12-ounce, and then you put them in like a little cardboard thing. It's a really good buy. You could fit a ton of them on a shelf, and I guarantee you that, like how Coca-Cola or soda has like the long 12-packs, like that, you can shove more and more and more and more and more on the shelves. Beer will have that. Beer will have that within the next 2 years. You heard it here first. They're going to have the long things. Because you want to go long. You can't go high. You can't go this way. You got to go this way and more. That's what soda did. Strange Beast. Yes, exactly. Yes. No, Kev, you're right. Strange Beast. And they spell it that way. I do not know why. Shout out to Photo Kevi. Spiking it. Yeah, so they have like 7%. Those are wise words about the distribution being king. Yeah, that's just how it is. It's not like a debate. I mean, cubic volume ultimately controls what's on and not. I'm obviously like if Stone is going to get in every brewery, but it's how much can we keep putting on there, What's going on, Justin Clayton? Justin Clayton, welcome to the Brajcast. We're cheersing you right now. I think we're going to go get another beer. We're all hanging out. One more beer? What happened to growlers? That was a good... I know, growlers are like trash now. That was kind of how beer went. That was kind of how, like what Paper Cut's talking about. Back in the day, everybody was buying growlers. I was buying growlers, and I thought it was cool to have like 100 of them and put them on the fireplace. 3 years later, the wife, the girlfriend's like, get your trash the fuck out of here. You're like, all right. It's all the same. It's just got a different pizza port. Arcana, Booze Brothers, this. All comes from the same company. But what happened to growlers is a good question. More importantly, who made money off growlers? Was it one glass company? Was it one glass company, or was it like a million glass company? Because somebody was making a lot of money because it went growlers, 64-ounce growlers, and then it went bombers, which were 22s, and then it went bombers were huge. Like bottle hunting and buying bombers were huge. But it didn't work because people didn't open them as much as you would open up a can. You would save it for like a rainy day. You would save it for like a celebration or you know, a promotion or something. So then it went to 16-ounce cans, which is pretty much, I think, what Pizza Port started. Pano, Session, Kooks, Double IPA. And then from there it went to it, which makes sense because pints are 16 ounces, right? Like the tall 16-ounce cans. It's kind of weird when you get these 12-ounce cans now and you pour it into a pint and you're like, all right, but we're missing like that much, you know? Like, should I go on Yelp? Should we go on Yelp? Dude, I don't even see bombers anymore, man. I don't even see bombers anymore. Okay, I'm with Zach right here. I think craft beer is about to go through a second revolution where convenience stores and farmers markets are going to be featuring local breweries way more. I think we just need a bigger push for local. Like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, there's 4 things that we buy, that we always buy, mom and pop. And, you know, it's not always, you know, it's like the majority of the time. Like if you go to Starbucks, we're not going to, you know, hog tie you and throw you over a fence. But always try to buy beer local, always try to buy meat local, always try to buy coffee local, and always try to buy weed local. Yeah, I'm with Ben. I need to go to more farmers markets, man. I'm kind of all talk. I talk about supporting local and stuff like that. I go to a farmer's market like 3 or 4 times a year. And I know how much like weed, beer, meat, coffee. Shout out to Roswell's. Shout out to Roswell's, you Braj. I know like the reality of those farmer's markets, you know, it's like just setting up at 5 a.m. and breaking your back to sell, you know, some produce or smoothie stuff. And I need to start going to more farmers markets. There's one in Carlsbad every Wednesday. It's a little bit more money. It's a little bit more expensive, but you know, I don't need to eat meat for every 3 meals. Zach Pryor, what up, you brunch? I like that. Salsa local. Check out Action Salsa. You know what'd be cool? Okay, we should make a Homebrew for Life salsa episode. I love salsa. You know, it's such a shame when you go to a good Mexican food restaurant and the food is so good and they just have like the worst shitty salsa, like that orange shit or the shit that's like too runny that just like drips through the whole burrito. It's just like, dude, do you guys have any clue how hard you're blowing it? It seems like there's been an uptick of buying local with younger millennials. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm down with Action Salsa too. I'm listening to Dilonius Monk. Yeah. You know, that's one of the good things about the younger generation. They're all trying to, you know, be more, I don't know, local and complain about how hard the world is and just put all of their problems on the internet. But with that, you should be supporting local stuff, right? You're probably like, fuck anything corporate or McDonald's or anything, you know? And I'm with that. All right, Tom, cruise down. We'll make that we'll collab for that. What the hell is Action Salsa? He could do it for 101. All right, we're breaking the seal. We're going to do an NBC. I got to take a piss. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you guys with this. Mandatory Beer I'm back. All right, let's do it. My life, my hobby. What's up with that name? All right, here we go. Look at live. What's going on, guys? I'm back. What'd I miss? Thanks for the awesome live stream, but I need to log. I'm watching it from Denmark. It's almost 6 a.m. Cheers, man. Later, Rasmus. I hope I'm saying your name right. All right, I'll turn that down. Sorry. I know what to do now, and I could turn that down. Is it a little bit lower? A little bit lower. A little bit lower now. Is it lower? R.I.P. Zach's Ears. That's a good name for a beer. R.I.P. Zach's Ears. All right, we're cracking one, man. What do you guys got? Let me know what you're drinking. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. Oh, man. I'm going to be a sober guy for the next 2 nights. I'm starting to get titties and shit. I'm starting to get them titties. Man titties. 35-year-old man titties. And it's not a good feeling. It is not a good feeling having titties when you're 35. Who's this? I'm texting him, get online with us. Gorgeous George. Sweet baby boy. Sweet baby boy. Sunset Riders shout out. Nice catching that. Nice catching that. Is it way better when I turned it down? Okay, cool. All right. The first brunch is the deepest. Let's do it. Best sound in the world. 3, 2, 1. Oh, man. It's orgasmic. Wait till you're 59. Oh, sorry, man. Oh, now I get it. My life, my hobbies is 59, but his kid created a screen name for him. What's the new milkman? What does that mean? I'm an idiot. Trev, you out of here? Is Trev brunging out? Later, Trev. Later, Braj. Guys, we're coming up on 3 hours. Cheers. We did it again. One more beer. This is our nightcap. For those who are a little bit new, we're drinking Al Farms, Braj Bros, Watermelon Tahine. The whole goal for the Brajcast is not to get electrocuted. It's been chilling. Yeah, it's not a good feeling. Titties. Yeah, I got titties. Later, Trev. Later, Braj. I can feel myself up. Yeah, and it's not a good thing. It's not as good as advertised. We're talking grain, Bill. What are we talking? 35% of flaked wheat, oats, and malted wheat. Sounds like you guys are doing a hazy. Uh-oh. Somebody got busted. Panda Patroller? Somebody got censored. I don't see that often. That's funny, man. That's funny. Thank you to who's here. Thank you for subscribing. We just hit the 500 subscriber market. That's cool. I know most channels have like 20 billion, zillion, million, billion followers. I don't care about them at all. I'm just glad that you guys are here with me. All the Brajas are just brunging out. What's tomorrow? Thursday? I get to take my recycling out. My shit on the side yard is just building the fuck up. We chilling until 10? I am down. 10 o'clock? We got one more hour? Should we see if Britta wants to come in here? Britta! Let me text her. You guys will see my girlfriend? Shoot her a text. Britta, she's not going to come in, but we can give it a go. Yeah, Salsa Homebrew for Life episode, conflict of interest. I don't know. I mean, everybody that God, I love salsa. Everybody that brews beer likes salsa. I think it's a one-way streak. I don't know if it goes, back and forth. But I love salsa, man. Have you ever had like a salsa where you actually just like take a shot of it? like Rico's and Encinitas. Like I could eat a bowl of this for dinner. Get the chips out of here. Get the burrito out of here, man. Snort it. Use it as shampoo. Hardcore brunches. What do we got going on? In an alternative reality, home, distill for life. God, I wish we could distill, man. I really wish we could distill. And there's a lot of products out there that Grainfather, the Anvil Foundry, they created, the $300 distillery thing, and I would love to do that, but it's illegal. It's just illegal. I don't know why. I think it's ridiculous. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think there's health concerns. The whatever gets blown off or get some gas or something. I know nothing about distilling, but I would love to do it. And I worked at a place for a little bit that was a distillery. It was a great spot. Henneberry in Vista, right next door to Battle Mage. And I loved looking at their process. I loved looking at their setup. What's it called? A still? Still? That would make sense. Distillery. Catching alcohol here and the burn off here, because you could pretty much make actually I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Make whiskey from beer? I don't know. I think it was breweries runoff that we would get. We would get like their bad batches or whatever, and I think that's how they made their whiskey. I mean, it's ultimately it's just sugar. You can make it off corn, potatoes, barley. But I just love the process of it, alcohol versus, liquid burning off at a different rate and then trapping it. And, yeah, that's why I'd get fired as president in 5 minutes. Cause I would say, first thing, here's what we're doing. We're getting rid of Yelp. Nobody is allowed to complain on the internet. And number two, we're bringing distilleries back. We're bringing, home brewing moonshine back. And as long as you don't sell it, I don't see what the problem is. I mean, you could legitimately make 20% beer. I don't know. It's got to be an environmental thing. Some politician, idiot wife had a bad asthma attack or something in a brewery, and then they just said, you can't do it anymore. I don't know. But how did I join right when COVID started? What are we talking about? I wouldn't recommend it. The resources online is ridiculous. Red is good, but green is next level. Converted my man. It's legal to grow plants. I'm a little bit late to the table. Yeah, I'm with Panda. Distilling is just the process of separating the basis of boiling points. That's exactly what I tried to say. Stupid that it's illegal. And it's like, what's weird about it being illegal is that you would think the government would want this, right? I mean, they make cigarettes legal, make alcohol legal, make this legal. It's like, cool, they're just going to tax it and make money off it and make a fuck ton of money off it. How did this not get, I don't know. My life, my hobbies. What are you talking about? Growing weed? Who's got the weed? Who's got the weed? But that's bullshit. There's a lot of hypocrisy in that. It's like, if we can't distill at home because of environmental reasons, why can commercial places distill? That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. So first thing we're doing as President CH. We're bringing moonshining back. As long as you're not selling it, we're bringing it back. And we're getting rid of Yelp. And we're getting rid of beer review systems. Nobody needs to see their beer being ranked 88 or 89 or 91 or 92. Just let me know if it tastes how it's described. I'm smoking that good tonight, man. Where's my weed? Cheers, Tom. People with big pockets buy the laws. Truer words have never been spoken. I agree with you in that I never wanted to really get into politics. We all think we're experts and everybody else is an idiot, but I like what you just said, Greg. Well, no, the government would prefer a super company that distills and pays the politicians and elites money. You peasants better not. Exactly. There's just too much politics, man. There's too much fucking media and too much politics. You know what's cool is like what Zach just said. It depends on the states. It's cool that states still have that power, like governors and senators. I'm not saying you have a good one or a bad one, but at least like they can control that, right? Like states can control their own. We want to be Utah. We don't want to have alcohol, or if we do have alcohol, it's got to be 3% or something like that, and nobody can fuck with that. Nobody can tell us we can or cannot have that. It's kind of weird. I tend to forget that from time to time, that states actually still have their own jurisdiction in a lot of different situations. Yeah, homebrew moron. We've talked about this before. I only use Untappd to remember what I drank, and I think that's exactly how I would use it, like a Pokedex. Pretty much see what I've had or what I caught. Charizard, Blastoise, Jigglypuff. Iowa sucks. California's cool. I mean, everything kind of goes. You know, I've been out in the East Coast where we've gone to, I've been to Maryland, D.C., and you go to a grocery store, you'll go to Vons or Safeway, and there's no beer. There's no alcohol, there's no beer, let alone alcohol. But it's like, who made this fucking dumb law where I go to the grocery store and I can't buy beer? All that's going to make me do is waste 30 minutes of my day. You know why? Because I'm just going to go drive across to the next county and buy it, and now they're going to get my money, you dumb motherfuckers. Untappd is a good beer journaling. It is. You know, everything's good. Everything's good in like small doses. Like, when me and Maury talk about like the worst case scenarios with Yelp and Untappd, like we're talking about like the guy that comes in and you give him a beer, but he gives you 4 out of 5 stars because the food truck didn't have any vegan options, or we yelled at him because his dog was off a leash, or the toilet paper wasn't soft enough on his ass. You know, it's, if you want to talk about beer, I think Untappd would be more credible, but people legitimately go into tasting rooms and they put the beer review based off the whole experience, customer service, the cleanliness, the ambiance of the tasting room itself. It's like, if you have the best beer of all time, but the bartender is the worst bartender of all time, that beer's going to suck. And you're going to write on Yelp or whatever, Untappd, that this beer sucks. And it's not fair, because there's very few people that like will distinguish the beer from all those other things we just talked about. You know, there's people that come in there and they're just like, I literally saw a dude give a bad Yelp review because trains were going by. Everywhere on the coast, there's going to be a train track, and there was trains going by, and it was too loud for the guy, and he didn't like that establishment, so he gave him a bad Yelp review. How does, what the fuck does that do? How does that let anybody know how good the beer actually is? So I think to give Untappd probably more credibility, don't do it from a tasting room. You're always going to be more. Before I say that, you could flip that too. You could have a mediocre beer or kind of a shit beer, but if the bartender's behind the counter is like some hot girl or some super funny guy, or just you had a really good conversation, you're going to say that mediocre beer is way better. So I think for Untappd to kind of make sense, you'd probably have to get beer to go and just, hang out in your living room, drink the beer, and kind of gauge it on that scale. But if you look at most complaints, this food sucked, this place sucked, this wine sucked, it generally stems from customer service, bad customer service, and that's not fair. That's not fair to the brewer, to the winemaker, to the chef. I think that's ultimately my problem with it. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. I'm a full-blown fucking idiot. Another thing that's not fair is carbonation. Exactly. Or like, no, Zach's totally right. Like, I've gone to dive bars where I've had this beer. Like, hey, I'm going to go get Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA. And I know what it tastes like. And I'm so stoked that this place has it online. Has it at their bar. And then you get a beer and it's like, this tastes like shit. And when you're drinking a beer and it kind of tastes like fishy or like Clamato, that's bad beer line. That's they've never cleaned their beer line. They don't know. They don't know that you actually have to clean a beer line. It's this. That's why, like, when you start kegging beer, you learn so much about beer. You learn about like overcarbonation, PSI, clean beer lines, caustic, sanitizer. You're not gonna know that if you're just picking up shifts at your local neighborhood pub, unless you're there for a long time. But no, I'm with Zach. It's that carbonation and dirty beer lines. And when I go out with serious beer drinkers, like Kevy, I go out with Chris from Battle Mage. We'll go to Norte. We'll go get Mexican food. He gets beer from a bottle. He won't trust the draft line. Like, if you go into a restaurant and you know the walk-in is all the way in the back by the alley, but their bar's all the way in the front by the parking lot, they probably never change their beer lines. And I'd be very surprised if they even clean their beer lines with caustic once a year. So you got all that beer, those beer lines that are probably 25, 30 years old, because it's going to cost you money to go through the roof and fix the beer lines and stuff like that. Or we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe dirty ass funky beer lines give it way better taste. I'm kidding. It doesn't. Nothing gross gives anything better, something a better taste. But I've had beers before vividly at this bar in Palm Springs. It was called Hair of the Dog. And I got a Ranger IPA from New Belgium. And I drank it and I was like, this beer's like bad. Like, I never complain. And I was like, hey, bartender, can I get like another one? Got another one. It was the same. And I was like, I would trust that New Belgium had like their shit together enough, or they were not going to put like a bad keg in distribution because they have too much reputation on the line. And I'm kind of looking around. There's like crickets running around. There's like a popcorn on the floor. There's like pretty much people damn near smoking cigarettes, like almost inside, outside. And I was like, okay, this is the dive bar of dive bars, and it's their beer lines. And I don't go on Yelp and complain about it because I sniffed it out, I think, in my weird detective way. Later, Braj. Later, Goose. Later, you, Braji. What's sad is that big companies send their reps to clean beer lines, but those are like the only clean ones. That's funny. There's a joke in there, Zach. That's pretty damn funny. Yeah, and it's like, do you really want your salesman like putting on goggles? And there's so many breweries. Like, Kev, if we go to Compass, their walk-in is the size of this, like literally this, and it's a kitchen too. You got lettuce, carrots, all this marinara, sauces, beers, stackable. It's like a maze. It's like a nightmare. And now you're supposed to like go in there and clean the keg lines. It's just, I don't know. Some people can't win. Some beer situations cannot win. And I don't know. Back to what we were saying, I think that it's cool for the Pokedex standpoint. I think it's really cool for the Pokedex standpoint. But I don't think I could give anybody a bad Yelp review because I think like I wouldn't want that to deny somebody money or income. You know, it's more often than not probably a mom and pop. I don't know, but I would never want someone to think that I would never want someone to see my Yelp review and be like, oh, I'm not going to go and spend money there now because of like that guy's experience. What's the extract company? It's Olive Nation. Let me check it out. Dude, these guys shred. The good thing about Olive Nation, a lot of things, but this one says 25% off. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to figure out their promotion shit out. But they've got like shit for baking, and I want to get some of their stuff for doing like. We need to do a mustard beer. What is rose extract? Rose extract. They've got all your chilies though. Amarillo, chili powder. Aji panca, chili. Almonds. Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But all right, my life, my hobbies. I find it hard when I go into a micro and their beer just sucks. Tell them, but I should. I want to know. I wouldn't tell them mustard sour. I'm with you, Braj. I wouldn't tell them that. Here's how, if I got to go to a Mexican food place or get a beer and the beer sucks, the only really good I could do of that is just tell my friends, don't go there. I'm not going to go on the internet. I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to tell their chef that his food's bad or the employee that their food sucks. All I'm going to say is my friends is like, just don't go there. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go right across the street and go to the next burrito place or the next beer place. And that's it. I just could never like find myself to take the time to sit down and create a Yelp or a Google reviews thing and give somebody a bad thing. I don't know. I mean, to each their own. Sound like Chop and Brewdog, that French's mustard beer, I'm down. I've literally never heard that perspective from a reviewer. So wholesome, CH. Which part? Excuse me. Sorry. Dude, do I have COVID? Easy fix. Easy fix. I've literally been in places where I've waited so long to get my food. I'm just walking across the street. I'm going to go somewhere else. That's it. Easy fix. There's a lot of breweries in San Diego. I pretty much only eat Mexican food. If I had a bad experience at this Mexican food place, I could walk across the street in any direction and get another burrito. Yeah, I think you're right, Zach. I think it's probably a lot better if you just start with mustard seed. I'm sure it looks like coriander seed. I know it does. You've been talking for 3 straight hours. It's probably from that. You're probably right. But I also do this shit when I'm watching porn. I just talk the whole time and my voice I'm just kidding. It doesn't get raspy then. But no, it's this time of the year. It's this time of the year. People are getting sick. People are generally getting sick. What's up, Brett? John Favreau did a bit about the chef show. I like that. A famous food critic in the LA area would not write a review if he didn't like the place. He would only want to write about places he liked. I love that. That's a really good story, Rhett. That's a really good story. That's the exact opposite of everybody's a critic, right? Like, good news only travels, right? In the beginning of the broadcast, we were saying, bad news travels faster than good news. I think I like that. Like, instead of getting your Michelin star taken away, you only can get it. You can only get that review. You can only get that credibility. And I think that's rad. Because there's so much, it's so convoluted in there. It's like, hey, this brewer, my girlfriend cheats on me with this brewer and runs off with this guy. And I say that on the broadcast or tell 5 of my friends and they create all these like fake negative troll accounts. It's like, that's really easy to do. And that could take away all credibility. Like, that was a bad example, but that's very humanly possible, right? Like at some point it's not organic, it's personal, right? It's like, oh, I hate this guy, or this guy, I never got along with this guy. Now I'm going to create 3 fake accounts and knock it. It's like, yeah, I'm with you, Rhett. Like it's only good if you get it. It's only good if you get that famous food critic in LA. And you know what's funny about what we're talking about is that it's all kind of the same, right? Like if you look at, do this right now. Look at your nicest restaurant in your city, call it the Chart House, and then look at like McDonald's, and it's still probably gonna like balance out. Like there's gonna be 4 good comments, and then one guy that just like loses his mind, right? Like he's hitting the keyboard like he's Count Dracula at an organ, and it's a book. And you could literally have that at like IHOP. You know, there's gonna be 3 or 4 good comments. Hey, place was great. You know, prices were affordable. And then there's gonna be one guy that just like, it was personal. Like it was, they didn't let my kid do this, and they told me I had to leave, and we couldn't bring in 6 dogs and shit like that. It all probably weighs out. You know, it doesn't matter how nice or value menu the establishment is. It's all probably the same. It really is. And me and Kelby were kind of talking about this day at Helia. It was like, he was talking about how he wants to get into YouTube. I don't think he understands the reality of how much Kelby from Helia, where's the can? He's a brewery owner, and he was talking about, he's like, my social media doesn't do anything. You know, like we'll post a picture and it'll get 300 likes and everyone likes it and comments it, but like my tasting room is still dead. And I was like, yeah, that happened all the time at breweries that I worked at. Like we all get the shine on Instagram. Instagram's like a fake fucking false sense of success. You know, like we're all famous now. We're all actors. We're all models. We're all successful tasting rooms. It's like, nah, you could have like 1,000 likes and a ton of comments on this picture of an IPA or something and make no money. And he was trying to talk about getting into YouTube and stuff like that. And I don't think he understands the reality of like, you know, writing and researching and editing and stuff like that. But I don't know. Some things are smoke and mirrors, you know, and some things aren't. You would think like on paper, right? Like if I have 5,000 YouTube subscribers or 5 million YouTube subscribers and I put a live stream, you would think people are going to show up, right? But like Instagram could be the exact opposite. You could, you know, have 10,000 million zillion followers and then try to, you know, promote a t-shirt or a tasting room or a comedy night. And it could like, nobody could show up outside of the norm. But anyway, I'm going to have him on the broadcast. He's a really good dude. He needs, not that I could help him or save him or do anything. You know, I think most people aren't even in San Diego. But, he's going to come on. He's a good dude. He's a business owner that like legitimately just wants to brew. He just wants to brew. He doesn't want to do like, if there's a problem with an employee, fighting with an employee, he doesn't want to hear about it. Like he was literally put on this world to just brew beer and give it, sell it to people, make beer for people. He just doesn't want to deal with like the promotion and the HR and the problem, like the, you know, employee problem, stuff like that. But it would be cool. He's literally like Bill and Ted, like just positive kind of surfer guy, just like, but yeah, Helia. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Photo Kevy, 100% agree. If everybody is a celebrity, then, oh, for sure. Oh, Kevin, yeah. If everyone's a celebrity, then no one's a celebrity. Right. It's like, I follow, or when I used to have I deleted my personal Instagram account when COVID was going on and all this political stuff was going on. But I used to follow like a couple hundred breweries, and it's like, I follow like 200 breweries that are all like, come in today, tag 2 friends. Who needs a beer? And it's like, if there's 100 breweries in San Diego that are all close to each other, that are all posting come into your tasting room, it kind of means nothing. You can't go to all of them. I might not, they're lucky if this one person goes to one of them. But I don't know, man. Cubbies of Braj, I'm telling you guys, if Helio was around 10 years ago, they would be fucking murdering it. Fucking murdering it. How often do I do these? Well, every Wednesday night. We start at 6 o'clock and we go till it's going to be almost 4 hours in. Yeah, I mean, just subscribe. This is like the extension of Homebrew for Life, where we just kind of shoot the shit, talk with the same Brajes. Tom's the Braj, Thelonious Monk, Rhett, Donovan, Brucho. It's kind of the same guys every Wednesday. And right, this is like the virtual happy hour. The main thing that I am worried about kind of people listening is the Brajcast, which isn't me, which is people just from San Diego or LA or however they got involved in the beer scene. And it's on Spotify. I don't know. I don't even know how Spotify works. You need to create a sign up or a login or a dick pic. I don't know. Yeah, hit me up next time you're down there. But I think we're coming to the end, guys. I think we're coming to the end. It's 9:30. I still need to eat dinner. I want to thank everybody that's been here. Kev, Tom, the Brajes, the guys that came in late, the guys that came in late or got here from the first 10 minutes. Shout out to Dave and Donnie for giving me this 4-pack. Nobody got electrocuted tonight. There's a million keyboards, fans, buzzing, humming, lights, and shit, man. Rhett's on the East Coast, NBC. Yeah, go to Spotify, search the Brajcast, and I'd be very surprised if there was another one. Papercut, thanks, man. Cheers, guys. Kev, Papercut, Tom, Jorge Castro. We're here every Wednesday night. Thank you. If you guys want to plug anything, I have no problem with that at all. If you guys, don't be promoting your selfies and shit like that. But if you guys have, a brewery on the horizon or a new YouTube channel or a Instagram beer page, that actually might be kind of obnoxious for people. Anything in the beer world that, maybe an article or a write-up or maybe you wrote it, put it in the comment section, and that's it. Panda, Patroller, Homebrew Moron. Brajcast is legit. It's similar to the Brewer Network's The Session. I'll check it out. I probably won't, but I'll remember that. But good looking out. All right, I'm out of here. Everyone have a good night.